ever seen. Not chasing fame, just serving the crowd, making the old school lovers proud. Through every season, through every song, you've been teaching us all along. It's not about hype, it's not about show, it's about touching hearts wherever you go. You're a legend behind the turntables, a bridge between generations, playing memories, building connections, spreading joy across the nation. DJ styling, keep shining your light, keeping the oldies alive every night. From Twitch to radio, near and far, you remind us who we are. A devoted son standing by your mother's side, a father and mentor filled with pride. More than a DJ, more than a name, a man of substance beyond the fame. Certificates earned, wisdom acquired, helping young broadcasters become inspired, showing the difference between playing a tune and speaking life into a room. Through every challenge, through every year, you stayed authentic, you stayed sincere. The music changed, but your purpose stayed, a lasting impact you've always made. You're a legend behind the turntables, a bridge between generations, playing memories, building connections, spreading joy across the nations. DJ styling, keep shining your light, keeping the oldies alive every night. From Twitch to radio, near and far, you remind us who we are. To every young DJ coming through, there's a lesson they can learn from you. Respect the craft, respect the people, and let your character equal your talent. You're a legend behind the turntables, a voice the people recognize, a friend, a father, a cultural keeper, a star that never fades from the skies. DJ styling, this song is for you, from DJ Quinn and the listening crew. May your journey continue strong, and may your life remain a beautiful song. To my brother DJ Styling, thank you for preserving the music, honoring the culture, serving the people, and proving that true greatness is not just heard, it's lived.
All right, man, I'm getting this together. Thank you so much for coming on into this forefront today, CRL 365. I am your mature mixer, DJ Queen, on the ones and twos tonight with my brother, DJ Styling. I want to say good evening to all of you across the world. Where storytelling meets culture. It's right here, service, resilience, music, and inspiration. Tonight, we welcome a man whose voice, professionalism, musical knowledge, and love for old school music have earned him admiration throughout the Caribbean diaspora and beyond. Known for digging into crates deep and delivering timeless classics, engaging listeners and giving them smooth transitions and maintaining a mature presence on and off the airwaves, our guest is more than just a DJ. He's none other than the legendary DJ Styling. Many know him as DJ Doe, but others know him as a broadcaster, a mentor, a father, a son, a friend, and community builder. He has played prestigious venues, I want to say, including VIP Lodge in Brooklyn, New York, that's right, built a following on Twitch and continues to impact listeners through radio and entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to forefront today, Sierra 365, the legendary DJ Stylin.
Good night, good night, good night, good night, DJ Quinn. Good night to all you wonderful folks listening right now. I want to thank all of you for taking your time out to be here. And I want to especially thank DJ Quinn for having me tonight. Um, you know, this night is going to be one which it opens a window to the other side of DJ styling. And I must say, I like the way that DJ Queen has definitely built it up, how he introduced me, and I think, he actually placed it in a place. He placed it where it definitely should be. I must thank you, DJ Queen, also for that introductory song. I would definitely like a copy of that. It's authentic, I must say. It is truly authentic and very concise, for a choice of better words.
It is yours to keep, man. Welcome to the show, man. This is yours, and we're going to be talking about you and your legendary efforts and your blessings to this world. So, welcome once again on behalf of the crew here, CRL 365. Who is DJ Styling when the music stops? Who is he? You hear that wonderful voice, my people? But who is he when the music stops? Tell us, DJ Styling.
Well, I'm an easy person, very firm though, and adamantly I want to say this because folks, if you're listening, be true to yourself. Be yourself. Stand up for the things that you believe in, represent it strongly. I mean, if you have to, if it's warranted, but be true to yourself. These are the things that were instilled in me by my late great mom. Coming up as a child, right? She had a way she would say things to me. One, I've taken a lot of things away from my mom, but she always used to insist and instill, man, know thyself. So
Mm.
outside of the music, I'm just like any other individual. I will say yes if it is yes, and I'll say no if it is in actuality no. Now, as far as compromising, I'm open to that, but never ever wanted to be totally taken advantage of. And later on, perhaps I'll elaborate on that, on this particular statement. As far as taking advantage of, because
Well, of
one
course.
one can have a desire and a passion, or moreover a quest that will definitely subject them to some degree of disadvantage, for a choice of better terms.
This is the man, DJ Styling, the man behind the microphone. Y'all hear his voice already? Already he's dominating the airwaves. But tell us, DJ Styling, tell us about your childhood and your humble beginnings.
Well, that's a good question, DJ Quinn. Awkwardly, I was speaking to a friend earlier, and I was saying, you know m- my childhood, right? And I can do this modestly, and but I want to really say what it is. I'm not gonna conceal anything, because at this point in my life, what can I hide? There's so many things on the internet today, and everything is okay. I'm going to say this: I am the product, and I say product. I'm the child of a well, someone once I said it, and someone said, no, you can't use that term, you shouldn't use that term. But back in Guyana, you used to say, well, the bastard child, because my father had a wife, and he and my mom, they consummated me. My mother, wonderful woman, God rest her soul. But nonetheless, my father was a disciplinarian. He was a very strict man. So I came from a childhood beginnings of discipline. And back then, for those you would know, I'm from Guyana, born British. So there were a lot of things that were in place and adherence was stalwart. Where are you, Mr. Quinn?
Oh, it's your show, man. You can take it. You talk to me. I want to hear about your childhood. Go
You
ahead.
know,
I'm right there with you.
now growing up, I was born in Bordeaux. You know, folks who are from my country, I mean, there are whole host who ain't no telling who's listening, but I was born in capital city of Georgetown in Guyana. Um, Predominantly born I spent the first 10 years of my life in Bordeaux, where I was born, and I subsequently moved from there to South Comminsburg. South Comminsburg. When I moved to South Comminsburg, we took up residence right opposite Bishop's High School, just a block away from the parade ground as we know it. You know, the Promenade Gardens were right there. The residence at the time, the president residence, that is,
Mm.
down the road. Further down was a train stop at Lemaha and Carmichael Street. Stone throw from the infamous Tiger Bay, a block away from Globe and the Astor Cinema. So why I'm giving all this information, is just to let those of you who can relate understand that I was born and raised in central Georgetown. Now, why I'm saying this is because from a tender age, I've been exposed to the good, bad, and the indifferent.
Tell it, son.
Now,
Tell it.
my musical journey would have started in Border. And I
Mm.
want to really insert this because I want listeners to understand that if one can definitely use the term that they have a passion for something, you know, in my understanding, passion is not something that you will pick up 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm.
Passion is something that is wired into your DNA and is something that you will start doing from a tender age. And I'm proud to say my mother again, and I will mention her from time to time because she is the main contributor that I can I can say play the most important part in me and my journey that led to me evidently DJing and real getting into music that is retro because sometime in the 60s, I think the year could have been 1965 perhaps, give or take 66. My mother bought a radiogram, and that was the inception of my musical experience thus far. She bought the radiogram, and then came the records. My older brother, who's 10, 11 years my senior, he was the one who started playing the records in the house. So I used to shoulder surf, as they want to say, piggyback or whatever. And at a tender age, I started to learn the colors of the labels on the records, which eventually I emerged to being able to read song titles. And evidently, I started playing on the radiogram. I started my mom's, she was always a hostess. One thing about her, and I say again, I will mention her a lot of times because whenever folks would come over, and my father, he would have his friends, from time to time they'll come over, and then I would request to my mom's, Mommy, can I play some records? Can I play some music? And she would always say, go ahead. Even at times when folks would come over, she would call me because this woman loved music. So I continuously did that through the years until I became age appropriate where now, and I must say, let me say this just back and forth for a quick second, folks. Back then, you used to hear the songs on the radio station. It was BBC and something else, whatever, I mean, that's back in the 60s. So when I got of age, my moms would say, "Oh, my son, I need you to get the title, get the name of this song, put that on the list." So I started jotting down song names. And by the time I got of age, I used to go to the record bar and purchase the records. And I tell you this, DJ Quinn and the rest of folks that are listening right now, there's some songs that some songs I can remember what was on this side and what was on the other side. Keep in mind, folks, we didn't have a jukebox that used to play out for parties and all of that. We just had the radiogram and the albums came in
Radiogram.
and the
Mm,
45s came in and the collection began to grow. So when folks come around, after a while, I had multiple songs that I can play. I had a huge selection that I can pick from and play
mm,
some. And
wow.
I must say this, it catapulted me to where I am today because I have a deep, deep passion for the music that I grew up listening to. And I don't just play them because I know them.
Mm. They just started and listen. You could have gone and played basketball, football, play marbles. You stuck with music.
And you know what?
Um,
I did some of that. Let me interject. Because when we
mm,
moved to Carmichael Street, there's a parade going right down the road. I played
mm,
basketball, I played table tennis, I played soccer, but I never really lost that passion for the music. And I will tell
mm,
you more, as I transitioned, as I left Guyana and came to the US of A, I can say so many things that actually contribute. And again, I say these are all things that led to where I am today,
but
and
let's
not
stay
just
there.
today.
Let's yeah. Let's go back there in your neighborhood, your childhood. What happened in your neighborhood you think that shaped you to become the styling you are now? You said you lived with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Tell us some more about what was in your neighborhood that might have been traumatic or might have shaped you to become who you are today.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: the adamant figure in my life. Let me tell you, folks, about this. Right, my father's like 6'1" in height. My mother's probably like 5 foot, but my father was a well-built man, and I swear I will put my hands on the Bible. I had the utmost fear for my dad. And I further mentioned, I aforementioned that he was a disciplinarian. This man was a very strict man. But the things, that I realized after the fact, my father was so strict with me, and not to mention my older brothers too, because I happen to be the youngest of seven.
Mm,
So I had older sisters and older brothers. So, there was always that watchful light, that
mm,
you got to stay on track. But my dad, most importantly, my dad, and when I started to get of age, I realized that my father was a member of a very prestigious organization, and he was adamant, about image. And my mother, on the other hand, she used to insert these little things to me, and it's like you don't want to embarrass your father and his
mm,
name. So
mm,
that was one of the guys. And I say this to you, DJ Quinn, where I grew up, I could have been anything else but who I am today. I could have probably been a delinquent, probably end up at the under Neiman Boys school. I could have been emerged and become a renowned criminal, as we would say back home, choke and rob and all these things, because these were individuals that surrounded me.
mm,
But I stayed steadfast and I held on to one thing, that knowing that I would not disgrace my father's name. I will not add stress to my mother. At the time, we didn't even know stress. Stress wasn't a
Mm.
term we used to use back home. You
Yeah,
just used to
yeah.
say, you don't want your mother worry about you, and but those were the factors. And most importantly, I would say this one, paramount. I was curious about academics because
Mm.
I set a standard from elementary, and I kind of wavered in the adolescent age, but still staying steadfast. That was one of the things that kind of kept me. And let me tell you this perfect example, and I'll say this: I had friends, like I tell you, I'm a product of this whole environment. And
Mm.
from Friday evening, I would engage everybody. Friday evening, Saturday all day, Sunday. Then it gets to Sunday evening, afternoon, as we say, like that's my cutoff time. And my friends, they will say to me, they will say, one thing about you, Claremont. Yeah, when it comes Monday morning and you put on your uniform and you get on your bike, you're a total different person. And they
Mm.
respected me for that because I was always assisting in areas that they lack academically. They could always rely on me, like, if they had questions, you know. I'll tell you something more, if they want to go to a party, or as we back home say, where the freak go at, I always had a wealth of information, man. I was the go-to guy, Hey, where we going this weekend? Okay, they got a wedding. Just moved from the church going to. But I mean, it's all in good faith because we just used to go have a good time, enjoy good music. But to answer your question, those are some of the factors that kept me in place. I
Mm.
just didn't want to mess up. I didn't have much of a choice. My father, again, I say, was a member of a high class, organization, and oh, one of the other things too. Let me just insert this also. It didn't matter the length of my book list.
Mm.
Price was no problem. And
Wow.
I refer these things daily, in my normal life because I realized what he did for me, was academic empowerment. You know, no book was too pricey for him to buy. You know,
Mm.
God bless his soul, he could have afforded it because he was a man that had a good job. He had his own thing. I'll tell you this much, man. My father used to make furnitures for Booker's Universal Store.
Wow.
I go in the store and I would see my dad's work in showroom on display.
Mm.
I've seen it where my father he had 6, 7, 8 guys working with him. He had a big workshop. So I was
Mm.
fortunate. And some of the things that I was so modest about, it never really affected me. I never really thought anything of it. I have a very good friend who, we met in high school, and he said to me, a day we were speaking, and he said, Claremont, but you were very fortunate. Look around in the schoolyard, how many bicycles there were. And
Mm.
you were riding a bicycle to school. They ain't even had probably 15 or 20 bicycles in that schoolyard with hundreds of
Mhm.
kids in that school. But
Yeah.
you were riding. And bad enough, when he said that maybe a year or two ago, I was like, I never even thought about that.
Mm.
But that's just some insight about the things, the factors that kind of kept me, you know. I didn't have much of a choice, DJ Queen. My dad was a
Wow.
strict man. And my
Mm.
mother, on the other hand, she's very adamant about it because there came a point where my dad and my mom, they weren't living together anymore. Well,
Mm.
that kind of that jolted me, because I was so accustomed to having both of them in the same space that when that change came about, it was something that really affected me because I used to be with my dad. I love my father too, even though he was very strict. That was my first teacher, by the way. Yeah,
Mm.
that's my first teacher. Growing up, my father used to have me read from the newspaper, and then I would say daddy hard word, and he would say break it up, pronunciation. You use that, to tell me break it up in syllables, as they would say. But I
Mm.
respect that man. Great teacher, great
Yep.
great
Yep.
person. Taught me to swim. He taught me real discipline too. And he instilled. He had. He never really knew how much I feared him, but when I started to get teenage and I started to voice, you know, I had to be very selective also, because I mean, hey,
Mm.
it's my dad, I don't want him to take things the wrong way. But evidently, at the age of 18, when I turned 18, my dad he um he had a stroke attack, and
Oh, sorry, man.
he became bedridden, and he stayed in that state evidently for five years,
Mm.
and he succumbed at the age of 71. So he was like 60, yeah, 66 when he got that stroke 5 years. And I was a mere young man, but the years that my father was bedridden, those were the years that we got the closest, because I used to go visit him, and we'll sit, we'll talk. I was able to voice because by then, I emerged from just a teenager now, became a father.
Mm.
Took my son. But I used to go and see my dad. And I used to tend to him whenever I show up. I cut fingernails, shave, cut the hair, whatever was needed to be done. And
Mm.
we communicated a lot, and the first time I saw my dad cry was when my grandmother passed, when his mother passed. And the other time I saw my dad cry was when I I got enough gumption for him and I to have a man to man talk, and he
Mm.
cried. And I said to him, because what I said to him, it wasn't disrespect or anything. it
Mm.
it it was letting him know that he taught me so much, but yet at times he kind of shut me down, and
Mm.
the things that affected me was out of concern for him, but as a parent, we sometimes tend to overlook that, and we will, but that's a whole nother thing. But
Yeah.
we are okay, my dad and I, my mom knew that too. My mom knew I love that man, even though he was the strictest person in my life. But I say again, I learned so
I'm
much from
telling,
him.
I'm telling you, man, it's always storytelling here in CRL 365, and we're doing that tonight. And we're talking about you growing up in Borda, Georgetown, Guyana, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, just turned 60 years old. And I know you talked a lot about mom and dad, but there must be other persons in your life that influence you outside of your parents.
Most
Who would that
definitely.
person be? Who would
um
that person be?
well, they're different individuals for different reasons of influence that
Mm.
I encounter. I mean, I I don't know how to say this, but there's a brother. There's one surviving brother that I have. You know that he kept me for a while, and he taught me the tougher things about street life. And I must say this, he's still, I mean, he left a mark on me, though we still brothers, he's still around. But he also prepared me for a phase when he left Guyana. I was probably like 14 years or 15 years old. And I had two other brothers. Another one migrated, and the other one, he was kind of distant. But then I was left with three sisters. And maybe in the last, I had to assume a role that was big for me. but because of from whence I came and the things that I've learned, and my brother that I'm talking about now, he prepared me for the rough part of life because I had to stand up as a man. A mere teenager, I had to stand up as a man to defend my three sisters and nieces and nephews. They all refer to me as the younger uncle. But
Mm.
I've been there because there's some that I'm probably 5 years older, and then there's others that I'm 10 years older, and. But I was the young uncle because, like I said again, I'm the last. When I was born, God rest his soul, my eldest brother, he was, he was, he was 21.
Mm.
My mom's eldest child was 21 years old when I was born.
Wow.
So I mean, my mom's and pops, they were 40-something-year-old parents.
Mm. Wow.
Now, that's one individual. Now, there's other individuals that made impressions on my life. I can mention a couple of school teachers too. You know, from primary level, there was a man named Mr. King. He was a common entrance class teacher. He's a very strict man too. Uh, I never got a cane from him because I was motivated by his teaching methods. So I stuck in there, and I remember him well because I tell you one thing about me, Mr. Quinn, DJ Quinn. Um, when I was when I was in common entrance class, I had to stay another year because
Mm.
common entrance is in April. I was born in the month of April, but
Mm.
common entrance would have been before my 10th birthday, but I was already in common entrance class. So I cried. I'm a very emotional person too. I'm sensitive. Yes, folks,
Mm.
I am. I'm human. I had to wait another year. Meanwhile, my other classmates who were older than I, they they moved on. You know. So
Mm.
for a teacher, Mr. King, I moved to after taking common entrance the following year. I moved to Christchurch, and then I met individuals. There, trust me, there are so many folks that in different ways, has played a part. I took a page from some of their books. I can refer to a man by the name of Oswald Kendall, and
Mm.
I tell you this much. I attended when I took common entrance. That's when I realized, well, I have to assume my mother's name because evidently at the time my father, back then, he didn't
Probably
sign it
he
for me.
didn't sign. He didn't sign.
So
Yeah, I know
so
that.
while I was using his name in primary level, when I got to common entrance, I had to use my mom's name because my dad's name. Anyway, it worked in my favor
Mm.
because I attended. I started my attendance at Christchurch, and emerging there was a headmaster by the name of Mr. Oswald Kendall, aka we call him Shaft, smooth guy.
Chaff.
Yeah, Shaft. We nickname him Shaft, but his name was Oswald Kendall. And when I first saw that man, I saw a kindred of my father.
Mm.
My father, Samuel Kendall. I saw a kindred of my father. And in my simple mind, I was so glad that I was attending Christchurch with my mother's name. Because had I attended Christchurch with my father's name, then it would have definitely raised a flag. And Mr. Kendall, our headmaster for some years, would have actually wanted to know who's my parenting. And then evidently
Mhm.
he would have met my father. Then I would have been on camera all day, every day in school. I
Special
wouldn't have been
treatment.
able to do the things that young boys will do, teenagers will do, young
Right, right.
adolescents. So, but Mr. Kendall, he had a way. He had a way doing things. He had a way with words, and I will also factor in another teacher by the name of Patrick Stewart. And I coined this phrase because evidently as a returning student, I used to always play back. He had a little quote. He used to say, "If you fail to prepare, then you
Here to
must
feel.
prepare to fail."
Feel.
And that's something I take that away with me, and I was like, oh boy. Then there was a female disciplinarian, and she used to always be on my case. I don't know, something about this woman.
Mm, mm, mm.
We call her Mother Crawford. Her name was Crawford, Miss Crawford. But she was a sweetheart, and I learned that as I started to get upper teens. You know, she was a wonderful woman, a strict woman, disciplinarian, but at the core, a loving woman. And I can say this because, in regards to the question you asked, these are individuals who cannot fade from my memory. As
Mm.
long as I have the faculty to retain, I will from time to time mention them. You know, and as I traverse, but I want to insert this. There was a brother by the name of Matthew Allen. I don't know if you
Yeah, Matthew Allen, of
yes.
course.
Now that's an
Or his
individual
station.
I never met. I never met
Mm,
Matthew Allen. I've seen him because as a child, where my father workshop was, he I don't know. I don't he never lived there, but there
mm,
was this gorgeous brown skinned woman, kind of tall, but that was his lady. So from time to time, he would come by there. So I had a visual of him. But hearing him on the radio, was something that that resonated with me from my early childhood, being exposed to the radio and listening to Matthew Allen. He just had a suave
transition
way.
between two songs and
Yes,
all
yes.
this kind of things.
He
Relevant
had a suave
conversations.
way. You know,
Mm.
and it's funny, DJ Quinn. I actually can assume such a role, but
You
for
say
me,
you emulate this man? Are you
yes, I
emulating
can.
Matthew Allen?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
I can see that. I can see that out of you.
Seriously,
Because I tried to do a program like him one day on one of my Sunday program, just transition some talk between the songs, but I can't be Matthew. But I could definitely emulate some of the things, relatable conversations, because grown folk conversations can always come between some nice ballads, some nice
and
oldies.
and you're right about that. One of the things that I have to introduce to listeners, and when I say listeners, sometimes you have to find the right audience,
Mm,
because if folks can relate, then you can engage them. you know the one thing you don't want to do when you're on radio is you know they tell your audience, because you bring the wrong content, and
right,
you
right.
present it, you
Irrelevance, yeah.
misrepresent it, and you present it the wrong way, and then there's like, oh, he talks too much.
Mm,
So you don't want to lose them because they can't relate, but you have the
right.
audience that can relate. You'll hold them,
Mm. They're
and
looking
they'll
for it. They look
definitely know.
forward to it if they can relate. Of course,
Yes.
of course. But yeah, that is. I'm telling you, it's storytelling here, and remembering names like Matthew Allen takes me right back to GBS, man. Uh, uh, Radio Roraima and Guyana Broadcasting Company. That was that. Which one was on Darwin Street there? GBS and yeah, Pancho Carew,
Yeah.
Cornel Ferdinand, Roger Moore. Uh, so many of these guys that I actually laid eyes on in the studio, going to the studios and seeing them work. And so, who's that? Bradshaw, Basil Bradshaw. And this
Yep.
is,
You,
this is
you
my
you
time.
got the
Yeah,
names. You got the names. You got the
yeah, yeah.
names.
I'm telling you. But we having storytelling here with my friend here, DJ Styling, and I heard you mention your real name. Styling. Uh, sometimes there's not always something. There's a significance in a name. There's a reason why your parents name you. Uh, what's your name and why you think your name was given to you?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Okay, you asking some questions, boy.
I'm telling
The
you, this is
listening
storytelling
audience,
here.
the listening audience they're gonna have a field day with me at any other given time. But I'll tell you the origin of my name, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that life is of such. I didn't choose it. I did
Mm,
not. My parents got together, consummated me, and here I am. Still today, I thank God. But I aforementioned that my dad, he was already married. He had a wife. He had two daughters with his wife. And he met my mom's, and his wife had intended, has she gotten a son, to name her son Claremont.
Claremont. Okay.
She never got a son. She never had any more kids, just the 2 years. My father was an elderly guy, just like my mom's, but it happened. And I
Mm,
got the name Claremont.
Claremont. Oh man, I got some
Now,
friends named Claremont.
now, how I learned this, right? My mom's she used to tell me so much. I mean, I was
Mm,
inquisitive too, because I would ask questions. I mean, here I am. I'm the last in seven. I'm seeing older brothers and sisters doing things. My dad is teaching
mm,
me things. You know what I'm saying? I listen to the radio. I'm hearing things. So I started asking questions at an early
mm.
age. And evidently I was very persistent, because I was curious. So
Mom didn't say, "Little boy, don't ask me that." Mom
yeah.
never said that to you.
My father
She,
said to me one day, the old quote, fig oxy mama why mo lang.
one day you come.
Yeah, because because I'm always asking questions. You know,
Mm,
it was just part of me. But that's how the name Claremont was given to me. Now let me tell
mm,
you a little bit about my father's mom, my grandmother. This is a woman from the current team, but
mm.
she moved and came to Pleasance.
Okay.
Although I was the outside child, as they would say, my grandmother loved me. I kid you not.
Mm,
I remember going to Pleasance back then. You used to take the train, and the roads were ain't nothing driving on them roads going down to the back
mm,
downside. Ain't nothing driving it. They used to have the standpipes roadside where folks used to go and get drinking water. Where my grandmother's property was, they had the Blackwater Creek was running in the back of my grandmother's land because she had
mm,
the 70 Adventist, a stunning 70 Adventist woman. She had sheep, she had goats, she had fowls. No pig or nothing like that, because them 70 Adventists, they ain't messing with that.
no
But
Arnold, no Arnold. Okay.
she had a good spread. But my grandmother mostly was she really got stuck to me because for the times that I would go there, one thing I hated about it because Saturday we would spend all day Saturday in church,
Mm,
all day from morning. But she loved me because I could have read. They used to give me excerpts to read,
mm.
and she was blown away. And, that's my grandson. I said that woman. I remember her on to this day. Yeah. And that's a long, long time she been gone. She been gone a long, long time.
Good retainers, man. Good
And
retainers.
yeah,
Sweet memories.
I gotta attribute my retainers for my mom. My mom passed away in December. She passed away 4 days before she would have been 108 years old.
Wow.
And
That's
her
longevity,
faculties,
man.
and I say this, her faculties, my mom will sit and tell you stories just like I'm talking right now. She will tell you stories from she was 8 years old and 9 years old. She still remember all of that. And she don't ever forget her face.
Mm,
No, she don't.
man.
May she rest in peace. A wonderful woman, man. A
Wonderful
merry
woman.
old
Yeah.
soul.
My condolence to you still, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen.
it's I I had to grow up. My mom's
Mm,
passing was a real check for me, so to speak.
mm.
I was selfishly hoping that yeah, I was saying selfish, I was
Yeah,
selfish.
because
I
a
was
lot of
very
times people
selfish.
don't know we are selfish when we try to hold our parents
Yeah,
beyond the time that God permits.
yeah. And you know what's funny? The day of her funeral, I left from where I was. I drove heading for the funeral parlor. I didn't even
Mm,
get a cup of tea or nothing. And when I got there, it was early. No one was there. and
so that means Boo like I was catching you.
and but I was hungry, but no one was there. And I peeped through and I could have seen the coffin and just get a little glimpse of her. And I started circling the premises because at that point I was like, this is the moment I wanted. I wanted a one-on-one with my mom's in state.
Mm,
And one a member from the establishment was on the opposite side of the street, probably noticed me circling around. And she came over and I said, good morning, I understand, it's not open, but that's my mom laying there. And I would really love a moment, if you could let me in with just me and her.
mm,
And I got that moment. And I said things, you know, obviously she can't hear,
right.
but after I vented, I cried. It was just me alone. I felt, well, yeah, I'm good now. I'm good now. I can handle whatever comes after this for today. I was wrong. Anyway, that's history.
It is
Now I can
storytelling
laugh. I
time,
can laugh
man.
speaking about her.
Yeah, it
And
is storytelling.
and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much, DJ Queen. Prior to my mom's passing, and even after, now. But if I engage in conversation with anyone, it's always inserted a quote from my mom's. My mom
Mm,
used to say that because this is a woman who told me so much ever since I was a mere kid, and it's a bond that hey, it can't change.
mm,
And that's another influential person in my life. I mean, she's a female, and I say again, I love females. I'm not the brother that this ego thing. A woman can't. I take instructions from a woman. I will take advice from a woman. I will take anything that's positive from a woman, and even sometimes the negative because it motivates you too.
mm. I am speaking to DJ Styling, man. This is CRL 365. It's probably a good time to say good night to some folk styling. Lots of your friends probably listening. Let's see, Hazel Nestor, Sharon Montplaisir Green, my schoolmate. I want to say good night to my other schoolmate, Laverne Vifaus, and to you, Winston T. Jacobs. I want to say good night to you, Margaret Lopez. Rosie girl, how you doing? And I want to say good night to Mr. Errol J. Lewis, and to you, Deborah Remington. To you, my sister-in-law, Kelly Arlequin. And to you, Kendra McKee is on, and her husband is a DJ GT from the Celebrity Farm. Samantha Brown, that is Reverend Samantha Brown, is here with us tonight. And she can pray us through this if you find you feel led to be prayed on. I can ask her to do that for you today.
Samantha Brown. That name rings a
Yeah,
bell. I
yeah.
think I had a brief encounter with Samantha Brown, if I'm not mistaken. I
Wonderful
hope I'm
lady.
not
She
mixing you
is.
up with anyone else.
All right. You know her. I believe you do. I got Denise Smith over there in Caneview Avenue. My folks, David Hermanstein, nice to see you fellas. I love it when the fellas come in, Styling. The fellas stay away from these platforms for whatever reason. And I do storytelling here for good reason. I want to empower. I want to be impactful. For me, it's not about a hype. It's about the impact. And you and I are making a collaborative impact tonight. With the questions, I'm going to ask you some more. You talk about you. Somebody's being encouraged, inspired, blessed by your testimony, by your storytelling. And I hope they'll be honest enough to say it's blessing them before the end of the show. Because folks come on here and if we're not gossiping, some of them might leave. And I don't plan to do that. So I might just have 20 people, because I'm not going to change my purpose for likes and loves. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to bring the people and spotlight the people because I want them to make an impact and change the generation and inspire people. So thank you so much for coming on into the platform tonight. So those of you coming on in, those of you incognito, the silent ones, Sugar Boom Boom, I see you. Sugar Boom Boom Audrey, I see you. Good night to you. Please don't come on in and just, pass through. Say good night to DJ Starry. Y'all know him. He been playing music for some of you guys conceived babies because of his music. Some of you got married and he played at your wedding. Some of you, were down in the COVID season and because of him, you guys, find joy in your home. So please show some love for DJ Styler tonight. DJ Styler, thank you once again for coming through, man. When I was living in the countryside, West Coast of East, we used to go to the back dam, Styler, and we used to come out with our mangoes and coconut. And as boys, we would talk about, when you grew up, what you would do and what are your dreams? I would say, man, if I find a bag of money, I would do this, I would do that, I would buy a church, I would buy a fire truck, I would, so many things I would do for my community. It didn't happen yet, but I'm still trying to do the little that I can with what I have. But what was your dream when you were growing up? You had a special dream that still is with you unto this day. Have you accomplished it? Tell us about that.
Now, dreams most people will have, and I can understand that. You dream, you live a little, dream a lot. They say that. But one of the things, right? One of the things that I'm still holding on to, I don't know if it's in my destiny, but I'll tell you one thing I would do. And I said this to a friend one time. I was asked, if you was to come into real wealth, what would you do? I said there are a couple of things I would do. I said, for one, I will build a school. I said I will build a home for the homeless. I said, if I can put another wing to the hospital, and I've learned this in addition to, I'm telling you this from childhood, from I started to understand life and get to myself. Before I'm coming to America, I used to say, I would do things like that. School, poor home, because I was exposed to those environments. But when I came to America, I went into hospitals and I was blown away when I see that this wing was donated by so. I'm saying this to say, folks will say that there's no life after death, and then others will say that there's life after death. For me, there is life after death, depending on your mark, your place on planet Earth, while you're there, while you can, when you could have. So that's one of the things that I grew up. And let me tell you, even more. Let me go a little deeper, because you know, I started to realize in life you can't carry everyone, because then you will violate some things that are in place.
Oh, you spitted some wisdom there.
You know, so you have to rely now on your wisdom. You have to get within yourself and connect to the higher being to not make or commit those errors, because if you do, then some of the things you would really dream or would like to do will never be realized, because in doing so you will defy You will defy God. I put it like that, bluntly. So, I mean, the dreams, aspirations, everything. But for me, paramountly, I would want to do things for the less fortunate. And it's funny because given an opportunity, I will do so. I will do so and do so again because I've done it and I'll continue to do it as long as I can. But again, with reservation, in retrospect to what we're speaking about, there's one thing that I ask God monthly as I pray. I ask the Father, because I know we're human. I ask Him to not let me extend myself to those who are not worthy of it. I've done so numerous times. I've seen the kickback, and most awkwardly, the discomfort about it all is when you're sincere. So, not every sincere act, though you might dream or would like to do so, you should
Will be
really,
received.
yeah,
Okay. Will be received,
yes,
with appreciation. I see what you're
yes.
saying. Thanks for that wisdom, man. I'm telling you, you're doing some storytelling there. And every once in a while, take a sip, man. Wet it up. I know what you do when you do your shows. I'll take one with you. We're doing storytelling here tonight, and I'm speaking to DJ Styling. So we got some more folks came on in. David Hero, good night to you, my folk there from Newtown Kitty, and my teacher is there, Miss Beverly Leach. Winston TJX is saying, we pray the hunger to be fed, age protected, sick, nourished, and infants cared for. And some of
And
us
I
are still
say
hungry
amen to
to
that.
do that. Yeah. Sugar Boom Boom is saying, good night, everyone. Thank you, Miss Sugar Boom Boom Audrey.
And good
And
night to you, Sugar Boom Boom, too. Good night. Good night. Glad to have you. I'm so glad that you're here. I must say this to you especially, I'm so glad that you're here. You know, we would have forged our relationship on a different well, on a different forum. Let me say this. Let me just put it this way, because our relationship, it was way before you know me on radio, So you can attest. You're one of those who can say, I he might be controversial or whatever, but I know him prior to radio.
yeah, yeah, and she's a very strict woman. If you go to the events and she has to be collecting tickets or placing you, man, she's a very strict woman. I like that. I
Yeah,
like
she's
structure.
dutiful and she's dedicated. You
Yeah.
see, and there's some factors that folks tend to take for granted. Dedication, loyalty. You know, uh, I
That
just want to mention
commitment,
those
man.
two because they
Mm,
they they're two fundamental factors that folks have wired into them that you can't change.
mm. Hazel
Good night,
Nestor is
Hazel.
saying,
Here's Liquid Caramel. Sorry about that.
Hazel Nestor is saying, it's so refreshing to hear someone intelligent speak. It definitely grabs your attention and keeps you waiting to hear more. You see the effect you have, DJ Styling? The effect you have on my listeners, man. And Winston is saying, bro, crying isn't a crime. I cried so easy at times. I cry too, Styling. Folks
Yeah,
don't see me.
yeah, and that's the thing, it's human to cry. If one cries, it means they have feelings. They can express their feelings without fear. You know, the macho thing that went. I'll cry
Mm,
if I'm hurting. I'll cry. That doesn't make me less of a person, less of a man. It makes me human because I
yeah,
am.
you
Folks who
are.
run with a rubric that, oh, well, soft with it. No, that's a hype.
Yeah,
I'm way
yeah.
past there. I'm past there. I have
Mm.
more things to say. Given the right
Don't
kind of
worry.
questions.
Don't worry. I got a lot of questions for you. Don't worry. I'm right now just acknowledging the folks who are coming on in before I miss them in the
And
thread.
that's okay. I
Deborah,
like that.
Deborah Remington is in from Brooklyn, and that's my friend. I made friends with her many, many years ago, maybe 30 years ago in the ATL. And so many of you are my friends here. I'm so glad that you're in my circle and you're still following what I do. I've done so many things, man. I'm so glad to see people still follow me in what I'm doing.
And
I am
I
actually,
must say, you know, had I got a glimpse of you put together, I probably would have, attired myself differently. But it don't matter. But there's something I want to insert before I forget. You mentioned West Coast Berbice, right?
yes, sir.
My father was originally from Eversham. Don't ask me about
Eversham.
them
Okay.
areas because
Mm,
I can't tell you much. I was born and raised in capital city of Georgetown, but
okay.
I remember as a child, probably like 7 or 8 years old, we went and it seemed like we took forever to get there when my
Mm.
dad's aunt passed away. One of his aunt, and we went all the way back. Now,
That means you cross over with a Turani boat and you drive some
man, it
more.
was too far. It's like we took
Mm,
forever to get there. But we went quarantined some way down them ways.
mm,
But I must say, I stem from a family, right, that are interrelated. Now
mm,
you will hear names like Collison, you will hear Kendalls, you will hear Kites, and you will wonder because they're all interconnected. Then you will hear doctor, attorney,
mm,
nurse, things of that nature. I'm saying this because, I'm a product of that. So
mm,
if let's say for a synopsis, if we at the table and there's a feast and everybody just pass me a little
mm,
cut, a little piece of something, you can understand what I will end up with, right? I will have a
yeah,
big
yeah.
plate. I will have a big plate. So please understand, listeners. And there's one thing about DJ styling. I am who I am, and there's no faking me. There's no other. There's no two side to me. I
Mm,
am a true person, but I am firm. And be firm and be true to yourself because if you're looking for acceptance, then you gotta subject yourself. You gotta substandardize yourself at times if you're really feeling for acceptance. But if you're to
mm.
be accepted for who you are. Stand up for the person you
Be
know
authentic.
you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Before I leave this segment, though, I still want to delve in your childhood days a little bit more.
Okay.
What was one lesson from your youth that still guides you today?
If I was to answer that, it will probably raise a lot of eyebrows, but I'm gonna say it nonetheless.
The
The one
storytelling.
lesson, right? When I came to the understanding that my mother had kids and my father had kids, but there was no other kid that I can say that's my brother by father and mother, or that's my sister by father and mother. So I realized that I was a lone wolf and I've
Mm,
been living as such, respectfully. You know, there's none other that I can say, yes, that's my brother or my sister, but we are not we are not uniquely joined. I,
mm,
I, I always wish for that. And it's something that I said to my mother oftentimes, say like, Mommy, I wish I had a little brother or sister. Because
mm,
evidently they would have been seed of my father's, and then we would have been yoked. Because I always feel like, yes, that would have completed me because in my life and knowing where I'm at today and the person I grew up to be,
mm.
that that next person would have been an extension of me, and
Wow.
I would have been an extension of them.
Thank you for being so vulnerable with us here on this platform tonight. The storytelling, speaking to DJ Style, a legendary broadcaster, a DJ, a father, uh, an educator to some extent. And we can talk some more about him. That was his childhood years. The segment I'm getting into now is him as finding that DJ inside him. Let's go there, Styling. Let's go there. What was the first opportunity you had as a DJ outside of your home?
Outside of the home, right? And when you ask about influential, individuals in my life, I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him in a great number of years, but I never forget him. It's a brother by the name of Lennox Wilson.
Mm,
I think he's somewhere in your area too. Yeah, if I'm
mm,
not mistaken. He Lennox Hi-Fi, Lennox Stereo Song, something like that was the name, right? But
mm,
what happened was this brother, right? His aunt, a woman by the name of Ruby Boscombe. And I must mention her because I used to say she's my godmother. She wasn't the one who went when I was christened, but evidently she earned that title because she was the only godmother I knew. You know,
mm.
when she migrated to the US of A, back then was Atkinson Airfield. I remember that like yesterday. I cried for that woman. Boy, cried. Boy. Anyway, Ruby Boscombe had a nephew. His name was Lennox Wilson. And he came to play for us, and we were living in Carmichael Street. I was in my upper teens, 17, maybe 18, give or take.
Mm,
And he realized that I had this passion for the music. So, back then, you got all these speakers and thing, whatever, so he left it overnight, say you're gonna come back and whatever. He came back the next day and we started talking. Well, he knew that Miss Ruby, whatever, his aunt, was we had a real good type relationship. Make a long story short, the system end up staying in the house. I tell
wow.
you, DJ Quinn,
What an opportunity.
for months. It like it became the home of the system now.
Mm,
He took a couple of the speakers, left the rest, and took some records. But I used to play the music on Sundays. I would put the speakers them out in the yard, and I would play the music where neighborhood, whoever nearby could hear the music.
mm.
And Lennox never denied me that because he realized that I was real fiery. And back then it was records, two turntables, two
Yeah.
turntables. So I used
You
to
flip.
play on the playing.
Mm,
I'm playing records. I started playing records, been playing records. One night he got hired for a function, so he's like, but then he had to go get my godmother. She's coming in from New York, so he had to go to the airport. And I was elated because I was like, wow, get my chance now, party. So he left me, set up everything, left me, and I started playing the music. I'm gonna say you this much. By the time Lennox came back, picked up my godmother, everything is on, came back, I couldn't wait. Yeah, I want to come off this song now because somebody had their eyes on me. you know,
okay.
I mean, I, I was like 18 years
You
old,
were
going to
spotted, man.
19. I mean, I was young, and it's
Mm,
like person, like age, was she,
right, right.
But I'm gonna say this, right? A musical thing, right? That same year, I kept my first party, bottom house back then, as we would say. There was a building in Waterloo Street. They used to rent it downstairs, so I rented it. We got the coconut branches and thing. We borrowed from it and thing.
Mm,
You know, we paid a $3 for coming or something like that. Cheap and sweet. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Music play, nice time.
$3 Ramo.
Yeah, back then cheap days, I ain't killing nobody, small money, but
Right, right.
it wasn't big money days.
Mm,
But that was in the 70s.
right.
You understand? That was in the 70s. So party nights and everything. Let me tell you, I do a couple of party promotions in Guyana too. My biggest party promotion that I had in Guyana was at the Pinch House. Pinch House was
Mm,
on Durbin Street there, Harper Place. It used to be the
Right.
den, then I switched it over
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
pinch house.
Okay.
Now I'm
Yes,
saying
I
this
used to live
because
right behind him in Ben Street.
yeah, I'm transitioning, through the timeline. So
Mm.
so it's not because if I go year for year, you take till tomorrow before I really get to where I want to go. But I'm saying
Mm.
this, right? Used to be the then pinch house party. What I really wanted, and I'll tell you this because you gonna understand, folks, you gonna understand where I'm going. I wanted back then. I used to work for the George. I used to work at the Georgetown Abattoir, and there was a set from Kitty. The set from Kitty was one of them butcher boys set Poke International,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
who was rivaling with Samuel Stop Rankin.
Right, Kenny. That's right. That's
So
right.
that used to be the seller. So I wanted to host a clash, but I went tonight and I met Samuel playing at Bottom House in Durban Street, somewhere kind down by Lep, somewhere down them ways, way down going to High Street side. And
Mm.
when I approached him about the date, he said he was already booked. So I could only had Poke International. The
Mm.
dance was a success. I ain't gonna even lie about it. But that was Guyana. I came to America 88,
Mm.
1988, and was exposed to the dance environment and everything else. And
Mm.
folks, and I say everything else, nothing exempted, everything else. If
Get
anyone
my
knew,
imagination
if
running, man. Get
anyone
my
knew New
imagination.
York, Brooklyn, New York, 1988, there wasn't much you could have been, exempted from if
Mm.
you're interacting. So you would have you would have experienced some traumatizing.
Maybe Sugar
For
Boom Boom
lack
can
of a
relate to
better
those
word,
days.
some traumatizing moments. Anyway, there was a little spot on Northern Avenue that used to hang out. I was first introduced to my beer choice unto this day, right there. And the guy that used to run the spot, he's like, styling a fine. You're a popular guy, You just come, a lot of people know you, you don't think. So we did a basement party. That was 1989. First basement party. It was okay. And, I kind of started growing my feathers. So in 91, I kept another party, man. If I tell you I'm to the party, before the party get started, the party was robbed. A whole bunch of guys came in with guns, everything, cover up their face, everything,
Wow.
robbed the couple people there. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's
Anyway,
the party I heard about. People tell me that there was a big party that happened. Okay.
you know,
Mm.
and it kind of hurt me because man, that event was built to be a seller. Anyway, move from there, right? But let's get back on track with the music thing. But I had to insert, I used to promote parties after I didn't, really, really, really into the DJing thing because I come, I still have a love for music. I
Yeah. Yeah.
transition, I transitioned from cassettes because back in the days when I had my first hoopty, and in my hoopty, I was roll with my little boom box, battery
Mm.
charge, well. Because whenever we used to hang by Narshton and Foster back over there, back in the days was Vanderveer area, right there. And
Mm.
Pancho there right to the corner store right there. He's by me 6 pack and thing. And we drinking and the little boom box beating music, back then it's
Mm.
cassette. But I like the show long box, play again, music. As science and technology started to evolve, came CD era.
Mhm.
I bought a Technics 5 disc carousel set.
Mm.
And
Back in the day was Sears. Oh, what
I
Sears over
started
there?
buying CDs. I
Mm.
emerged from a hoopty, get a nice car. Met a Guyanese brother by the name of Kevin. Install a sound system. Back then was the face off radio. I got a 10 disc stack now in the
Mm.
back of my vehicle. So when I pull up, wherever music is played. Everybody's look for me because once I pull up now, you can get a different tone of music. Before I get to there is a spot on Top Scott
Mm.
by East 98. Was an American bar. I used to live on Top Scott down the road. And
Okay.
whenever I go to that spot, the manager for that spot will come out and look for me. She said the only time I hear a certain tone of music being played, I know you're in the house. Because back then you used to go and put your money in selecting music. I could tell you
Yeah.
about Guyana too. There's a
Mm.
spot on Rob Street, Rob and Wellington Street,
Yeah.
opposite Metropole, opposite on the other hand. I used to go and put my quarter. There's a song by Johnny Nash named Love Ain't Nothing But a Monkey on Your Back.
Mm.
I used to go and play that song there. I like this song.
Love ain't nothing but a monkey in your back.
Monkey on Your Back. I used to go
Mm-mm-mm.
there and drop my quarter. I'm gonna press the one first and then press the next one. I gain three for my quarter, but I'm gonna play. You can't press doubles because you can get jip. So I used to
Mm.
press the one and press the next one and then come back and play Love Ain't Nothing But a Monkey on Your Back again.
Oh.
Because when you drop your quarter, you get three selection. It evolve, Because when I know where Lisa's jukebox back in the days, when you drop a quarter, you used to get five selections. And back then, a quarter was a quarter. You say a bob.
Above, yeah.
Anyway, fast forward.
Mm.
Move to the CD era. I met a brother, in 19. A matter of fact, let me back it up just a quick second. When I put that system in my car, like I tell you, the technician was a guy by the name of Kevin. I asked him back then, I said, 1991 year. I said, how much it costs to build a sound system? I'm thinking about it. He said, about 10 grand,
Mm. 91.
91. 10 grand. He said 10 grand and get a good sound system. I had to factor in a couple of things that deterred me because I needed manpower. One, I needed storage and I needed transportation. So there were three key factors because I alone couldn't move it. Back then, you got the big speakers, them
Amplifiers.
big boxes at bass,
Yeah.
and then you
Heavy
got the bass,
amplifiers.
and then you got the horn, and then you got the whole amp rock and all of that.
Mm.
10 grand, Kevin would have built me that system, but I fell back. In 1996, fast forward, I met a brother, right? And I was still energized. I was like, man, let me build a system now. But he wasn't so motivated. And I think the year was 2000. I stumbled upon a line of speakers, Yorkville, and I made a purchase. I migrated because I got exposed to the computer and I started burning CDs. But then Kaiser and LimeWire started wisening me up like all these CDs you got
Yeah.
now, you can
You could
find the
get,
music right here.
yeah.
So I
Uh-huh.
started to stock my music.
Oh, you just reminded me, man. LimeWire.
Yes,
Mm-mm-mm.
LimeWire and Kaiser. Kaiser, then LimeWire. File sharing. That back then that was the term file sharing.
Mm.
So I started digging into my CD crates and what I couldn't get, I would grab
Right.
from my CD and I
Download.
started to load
Mhm.
my music collection on hard drives. Back
Mhm.
then, I would say they were big drives,
Right.
hard drives, because they were sizable.
Heavy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they were sizable and they had to be power connected and everything else, But nonetheless, I started my music. I continued, but then I got more into it because I met a brother and I started co-hosting with him. He was a karaoke DJ. Well, I actually contributed to that. So we started now, and we out there. I used to be MC styling. While he was DJ Blackie, I was MC styling. I used to introduce everybody, pass the microphone around, humor them here and there. And we were very impacting. I must say that we
Mm,
were. Eh, Trust me, we are a dynamic duo, on the music scene. But I'm always aspiring, man. It was never a dull moment for me. I'm always thinking about what's the next step. Where,
mm,
let's see, if we jump or if you can grab that, what's up there?
mm,
I had a couple of ideas, innuendos, and if you want to put it like that, and I would present it to him. But anyway,
mm,
I purchased some powered speakers, and let me tell you this also, something that's never really mentioned. But there's a host of Guyanese DJs today, and I say this without no disrespect to anybody. I'm just stating what I know factually. But there's a
mm,
host of Guyanese DJs today that when I started DJing on the computer, they weren't.
mm,
Yeah, they weren't. But back then, I used to invite everybody. You need to get on board. This is a wave of the future. Oh, I like me CDs, man. But again, I say, I never wanted to be there alone. What started happening, those who got enough gumption to try it were saying, you know, I gonna try, but then they will rely on me. They will call me. I share information. You know how many? Whenever my phone ring, is guidance, and
mm,
I wasn't stingy with it. I wasn't selfish with it because I felt good knowing that folks are embracing the future from then. I mean, look at where it's at today. But again, my musical journey, I started from back in the 60s playing records. And I started in the 2000s playing on the computer. I tell you
mm,
this much, DJ Quinn. In 2009, I went to Guyana. I went and played for a 70th birthday at the Georgetown Club on Midland Camp Street. And everyone was sitting there. My mother was present too. They were all sitting there like it's a stage show, like they're marveling. What is this guy doing? He just playing the music off of something, and what is he doing? And I had to urge these people. I was like, listen, a brother by the name of Vicky and Sonali was there. He was emceeing because the man that was the 70th was a man of cloth, and he knew all these dignitaries, so they were there. And I was
mm.
like, this is not a stage show. I didn't come from New York to play music for you guys to sit on and watch me play. And I kind of used the right verbiage because it
Oh,
motivated them with
yeah,
with with, with Vic and Sonali now
exactly. Some
reiterating it.
finesse.
Yes,
Mm,
it jilted them, and you know what? It was nothing but fun. I had the
mm,
privilege of speaking to another DJ some years subsequently, and he was like, and I said in 2009, I went to Guyana, I was playing. He's like, say what? 2009? Nobody in Guyana ain't playing on the computer them years. I'm
mm.
just saying this to say timeline, you know, that what I do, and what I've been doing, I do it just because I have a passion fit. I love music,
So
love
passion
playing
is
music.
good. Passion is good, styling. But when did you realize that you can turn this and make some money from it? I know you were playing for your moms in the house. You played with Lennox. When did you realize you could make some money off of your skill set?
I'm still yet to realize that because
Hmm.
I'll tell you the honest truth. There was a time when I used to do karaoke 5 nights a week, and I thought I was making money, but I was just doing it for the passion. Folks were making money out for me, you know.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things about me. I'm yet to grow up to be an exploiter.
Hmm.
I would do this effortlessly and don't put a price tag to it. I mean, there's other brothers who are very serious about their game. If you can't pay me this, I ain't playing. I ain't coming. And there are times when I have to, like object, stand up. But for me, if we have a relationship or an understanding, I will come and do what I have to do. And hey,
Allow
let me
you to
tell you,
bless me.
I've learned about life, and
Mm.
they got some things money can't buy.
Tell it. Tell it.
We do have to pay bills and all these things, and there's some folks. Don't let they give you money. Cause their money, good man. They don't get to you the good mind either.
Mm.
On a serious note. But I say again, I'm not here to exploit anyone. If let me tell you something, DJ Queen. I play in places, and I say this, as a Guyanese DJ, I play amongst Jamaicans. I play amongst them, and they got their function. It's like, yo, DJ is styling. Want to tell us something, star. You have to come and play two tune. 'Cause listen to you, you're going good. And hey, it's all for fun, you know what I'm saying? I go in whatever you give me, I bless and accept. Because here's why. In life, this I learned, few people will render to you your true worth.
Okay. All right. That's some wisdom right there. So that's a good good time to segue into this question. What lessons did those mistakes teach you, where you would have gone and played and people undervalue you?
Well, lessons learned. you know, lessons learned. Experience teaches wisdom. You know,
Mm.
again, in spite of all that I've really experienced in a negative way, rendering my services, I've never wavered to say, well, because you win some, you lose some. When there's times that I go and play for folks, I don't give them a price. I
Mm.
tell them, whatever you give me is okay. And I get times fold expectancy. Times
Mm.
fold expectancy. So for those who would have probably, gathered it, hey, he's here, he didn't give me a price to give you whatever. It's okay. It ain't my loss. Because there's always another time. They got
Mm.
folks whenever they have a function, they seek me out. It don't matter. They seek me out. Not because, well, we could give you anything, but because they have a good time.
Mm. And tell us, Styling, what separates a good DJ from a great DJ?
A good DJ from a great DJ. One time, there was this guy, he appears spirited, and I was playing, and he was really enjoying my music. And he said to me, he said, Styling, they can't play it if they don't know it.
Mm. Okay. Passion. Okay.
You
I'm
know,
sure you're not done. I know you're not done.
DJs
Expounding
classify
on it.
themselves as good, right?
Okay.
You're a good DJ because you probably duplicate the pattern of another DJ. So you tell yourself if you can pattern him, you calibrate yourself, similar to him.
Mm.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the separation, right? When you own a card, and I like these cards too. I like, one of the things that I've learned through the years, right? I've DJed on my own where I play for hours, but I like when you play alongside another DJ because everybody takes first jump at the popular songs.
Mm.
So because that's a bit to shut down the other DJ. Because if I play this and I play it, when he come up for play, he in trouble. But
Mm.
I don't want to disclose my secret weapon. But the difference between a good DJ and a great DJ is his music collection. Knowing your library. knowing
Mm,
your library, because you can play amongst a whole bunch of DJs and everybody play different genres. If you know your library, you can play the same sequence of genre of music, but different songs when you know your library. You understand what I'm
mm.
saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'll take
Does,
that.
does that answer your question?
And answer my question, it's a good time for you to say good night again to some of your fans, like Gaylan. She always used to listen to you. Gaylan is on YouTube. And so say good night to some of your fans who are still coming on in and hearing from you. It's storytelling time right
I
there.
want to say something real quick. Can I be excused for 30 seconds?
Yeah, of
I
course.
got something in the oven. I want to be right back. I got it on a timer, right?
All right, go ahead.
30
Got you. All right, I'm talking to DJ Styling, man, and this is definitely a legend still among us, and it's storytelling time here. Some of you have some good stories to tell. I see my buddy right there, Stokely Roberts, also a DJ. Blessings to you, champ, also. Uh, I'm so glad that you guys are coming on in and dropping your comment. Yvonne Jordan, happy belated to you. She's always up and ready uh, to cook something and be hospitable um, whenever the time arrives. Thank you so much for being my friend over these years. Hazel Nesta, thank you for sharing the broadcast, man, with Sugar Boom Boom Audrey and Winston T. Jacobs. Could always count on you, man. You follow me every time, man. You like you and I, like people would say back in the day, like they say, I can't even say that on my thing, but we good, man. We good together always. Winston, man, a good opportunity to meet you at a concert there last weekend. Thank you for all your support and your hospitality also. And Sharon, how is Canada? I'm trying to come there for Caravana. How you doing, Joy Carell? I want to say my condolence to you. I think you had a death in the family somewhere along the line. And Lavorne, tell Mama Yulin good night. Had a chance to interview her mom, 94 years, and could remind us about so many things like Styling is doing tonight. Right here on this platform, we tell stories. We go deep. We bring out the best in people right here. And you might be the next person. Errol, you might be next because I know you got some stories. We worked together back in Nairobi. Grant Thomas, good night to you. And Kendra McKee still here. I hope you are. Samantha Brown, rather. And good night to you, Miss Abiola Harlequin. Good night to you, Denise and David Hermanstein. I hope you guys are sticking and staying because I am talking to a legend. And I'm telling you, this man could have been doing many other things, but he's given his talents, his skill set to us. And some of you conceive your babies with his music. While he was talking, some of you recorded his voice on the night shows that he was. I know some of you love his voice. And some of you listening incognito can't come in and say, Styling, I really appreciate what you did in Radio Land, man. Come on in and talk to the brother. Man, we need it, man. This is our month. Remember? This month, the month of June. Celebrate us. We are fathers, right? We're making a difference. And I'm getting into the segment where he's going to go deep into his crates. When Styling play music, I got to get into my Shazam because I'm telling you, when he drops some songs, I have never heard it before. And I still got some songs that I got from him because I listened to his programs when he was on radio. And now I have to follow him on Twitch. But let's go deep into the crates and welcome back to you, Styling. Are you there? Hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. Can you?
Yeah. Let's go into
Okay.
your crates for let's go
You
into
know,
your crates for a moment.
you
And I
know,
hope you have enough time.
let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you honestly. There are some terminologies that I would use from day to day in my everyday verbiage, and it's one that I love to use loosely. Each one, teach one.
Mm,
Now, as a DJ, right? If you really, really, passionate about it, and I'm saying this because it depends. It depends where your DJ journey started.
mm,
If your DJ journey started in 2002, 2012, 2014, or 2020 with the pandemic, then you would have limited knowledge of songs and song history and genres and the party vibe and and everything else. Now, for me,
mm,
For me, my DJ journey started a long time, way, way back. Now, again, I aforementioned, if you don't know it, you can't play it. But everyone who is genuinely passionate about DJing has their own signature. And
Mm-hmm.
I say signature because it's the way that they will play their music. Now, we all differ because if you look at DJing and how you play your music, you can say for let me phrase it this way. Let me give you guys a synopsis. We are writing an essay.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every different individual would put their words, how they envision they want it to be delivered and accepted.
Mm.
It's the same thing when you're playing your music. If you intend to make a statement and you know your collection, you can put together a compilation of songs that will transcend that message.
You're talking to things there, Styler. You're talking to things.
Now, if you're playing and you know your listening audience, and that's why I love to go deep because here's what I've learned listening to radio stations generally, and not specifically any one particular radio station, but I've listened to radio stations through time, and I've recognized generally they tend to be repetitive.
Mm.
Now, repetition is good if you want to memorize something, not good for radio station.
Tell it. Tell it.
Variety,
Mm.
variety is good for radio. You know
Mm.
what?
Relevance.
Let me tune in because damn, I missed last week. You know, he's always. Let me give you guys a perfect example. There's a brother went back to Guyana some years ago, AB and his partner, and they used to follow me while I'm doing karaoke because prior to the karaoke shows, I used to play music. And one night
Mm.
they came over, both called me over, cause buy me a drink. Come, Styling, come. And they both said to me, Styling, we follow you 5 days a week. And you don't play the same songs every night. Every night we come
Mm.
and sit on before the karaoke start. You used to play a different set of music. And
Mm.
that's one of the things that separates, and believe you me, it authenticates DJ Styling.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
want to play the same songs over and over.
Mm.
I just can't.
It becomes mundane. I know
Yes,
what you mean.
because I'm always brainstorming like, oh wow. And I say
Mm.
again, each one, teach one, because you will listen to a brother, another DJ, and he's playing, and you'll be like,
Mm.
for me, I'll be like, oh shoot, nice one, I like that. You know, I
Mm.
ain't played a one for a minute.
Exactly. That's what I do when I
Mm,
listen to you, Styling.
That's why I say again, each one, teach one, because you
Mm.
listening. Different DJs, they bring a different thing. Everybody got their own signature, everybody got their
Yeah.
own thumbprint,
Yeah.
and you listen to them. But the thing is, if you were going to approach it with, a degrading mentality or, a competitive mentality, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it.
Mm.
But the key thing is, like you read a passage and you have to summarize. And these are pointers that I picked up along the way.
Yeah. Well.
But then giving a summary in your words is good.
Mm.
But
We give it a summary
on
in the
the
song.
contrary, if
Mm.
you're gonna plagiarize, it's bad.
Mm.
Because you're going to present something that you didn't put together.
Right.
You
Right.
gotta feel your music. You gotta know
Mm.
it. can feel it.
Styling,
You
man.
gotta know your library. And
Mm,
most importantly, you gotta know the receiving end.
mm,
For you to get to know the receiving end when you started communicating, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed about modern radio. You know, the chat option where audience members, the listening audience can communicate with
yeah,
you or amongst
yeah.
themselves,
With a
and
live
you
DJ.
know
Uh-huh.
and compliment you,
Mm,
energizing you. You know,
yeah.
these things do elevate the DJ spirit. I mean, for those who are receptive, those who can understand.
Mm, mm. I like that. I like that. Good wisdom you drop in. But before I move from this, I still want to know where this name came from. Top styling, man. I
Well,
almost forgot.
the TAPS is an abbreviation for the Alpha Powered Sound.
Oh, the alpha powered sound.
And
I like that.
the reason why, because again, I say, when I started playing on the computers, they weren't playing. So,
Mm,
alpha keyword.
mm. Beginning, the original.
Yes, the beginning of the power song, because back then nobody was rolling with Yorkville speakers.
Mm,
Everybody was still moving with their apps and with the up ranked and the whole up rack and all of that and high mids and all the. And I purchased powered speakers. I powered active speakers. So
mm,
I coined it and I say, this is the beginning. So it's the alpha powered sound.
mm. We're moving into time. We're moving into time. I know you're cooking, so I don't want you to burn nothing up in the oven, right? And that's a good thing. Men can still cook. That's an awesome thing, man. I
Well,
applaud you.
yeah, I'm good. It's out.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you have your glass there too, man, because we have a segment that you might need to refill in a minute. But tell us, Styling, what is the oldest song still in your crate?
Oldest song? Mm, that's a good question.
Because when you
Man,
take us way back,
there's so many old songs I can recall from my childhood days, man. You know, I mean, they were the singers then back then that my moms used to listen to. Not King Cole, he
mm,
probably would have had. I think the oldest might be amongst maybe who knows not. I don't even know. I tell you the honest truth. That's a good question. As
mm,
far as the oldest song in my crate, man,
mm.
I play so much. I play so much old
Well, I'll
songs.
challenge you to find out, man.
Yeah,
I'll challenge you. Before the
yeah.
end of the show, you might remember one, though. But what song never fails then? What song never fails for you? I always can bring it back, and it's got some melody, it's got some energy, it makes people do stuff.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a song that I was talking about, and it was topping the chart in, I would say, 1967.
Mm,
There's other covers, other individuals who did it, but one that stayed with me was Otis Redding. Um, Lover's Question.
mm.
That song was playing.
That's the lover's question.
Yeah,
I'd like to know.
yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
Otis's version.
Mm,
Otis's version, and then
okay.
there was a 45 that I mentioned from time to time by Smokey Robinson. And one side was "You Must Be Loved," and the other side is "I Second That Emotion."
Mm,
And I remember that, there's some albums that are still in my memory from way back, like Joe Tex. Um, he had an album, had songs like "Meet Me in Church." I had a good home, but I left, and then those are vintage, albums from back then, and I can say those are from my early exposure, my childhood recollection of the albums that were first purchased when my mom's brought the radiogram home.
wow. Styling, I gotta make you go deep into this one. What forgotten classic deserves more airplay? Some songs that to yourself, people have to play them some more, which one would it be?
Well, I try to exercise that. I mean, there's some songs that I've been listening to, you know, and I can name a whole host of artists that will do so. Engelbert Humperdinck for one. I mean,
Mm,
Tom Jones on the other hand. And there's always an album that, I mean, from time to time, folks will play it. I mean, locally,
mm,
Boris Gardner. I mean, a lot of folks like that. And that Soulful Experience album is one which, you know, could never elude my mind. You know,
mm. And which song you would say represents your life?
my life, um, I gotta be me, Sammy
Mm.
Davis Jr.
Why so?
Because I am who I am, and I stand corrected. But regardless,
Mm,
I am I.
mm. I gotta be me.
Yeah, whether I'm right
Yes, come on, Styling. Come on,
or
Styling.
whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I gotta be me. I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? Yeah.
Mm, that's awesome. Yeah, that speaks of you, man. It got to be me. My favorite one I like to sing. I think it relates to me a lot. Is "That's Life" from Frank Sinatra.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
life.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
listen, you know, Sammy Davis Jr. is a good brother. I
Mm,
play selections by Sammy Davis Jr. I'm gonna leave one with you. It's titled "The Joker."
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
A rare one. Never really hear. Let me tell you, my passion for music. I mean, starting from where it came, way back in the '60s. I'm still on a quest. I can't collect every song, but I am going to continue collecting music as long
mm,
as I can,
mm.
because I've learned so much about the artists, and the lack of the knowledge to really command and gain at the time what they were truly entitled to. And I'm a product of that. I'm
Mm,
taking advantage of, but you know what? It comes right back to passion. We singing, Ooh, hey, at the end of the day, they might not got the royalties, but if it's still being played, it's life
mm.
after death, because you'll be like, listen, hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
This is a nice tune.
Mm,
This tune's still good. And
yeah.
those who had the gumption to go against the tide, evidently they suffered tragically,
Mm,
because
yeah.
Sam Cooke has some wonderful music, talented,
Mm.
very talented man.
Before I go to my next question, I want to ask this one because I find over the years, styling that
Hmm.
us Guyanese, Bajans, and Trinidadians, and perhaps some Grenadians are the only ones who really seems to be enjoying good oldies music. Whatever happened to the people in the USA where most of this music was made? I can never find a real, true American party that really embraces music made by people who are, I mean, oldies. I'm talking about.
Yeah, and
When you have a good oldies, talk
and,
to us about that. Why is that so?
and it's funny, it's a good question too, because I am as fortunate to happen to embrace a
Mm,
minute few, and I say again, a minute few who really, you know, original Americans who really, really show appreciation for the American music. But you're not gonna find you if you find them in these parts because they migrated. But from south, from south,
mm,
they shared a deep appreciation for the oldies. I
okay.
remember back in the days when I first came, I was talking to this old American guy on Grand Avenue in Brooklyn. And we were talking, and me with my music, and he's like, he was relating. He was relating, and he's like, man, let me tell you, man, music back then, you talking to a young lady, you out partying, he gonna get all American with me. He said,
Mm,
you don't have to say much, He said, baby, just listen to this song, He said the music used to talk for you.
mm.
And when he said that, I knew he had a deep appreciation for the
For
music
American
because
music, yeah.
it was factual. It was.
We celebrating Black music this month also, and I hope folks would embrace our creation, our heritage. But what song reminds you, styling of home, Guyana, South America?
Of home.
Hmm.
We have to take it back home, we'll definitely have to take it back home, and my late great, I kind of called him out of character a couple of times too,
Mm,
guy imposed on him. He said, stop the music. It
mm,
burns inside. My man Johnny Braff, man, I gotta give you props, real talk. And let me tell you something, DJ Queen. I got Johnny Braff to sing when I was doing karaoke, He's like, Styling,
mm,
I don't do this, I ain't singing on karaoke. I said, Johnny, you gotta sing for the people, buddy. Want to you come home now, Real GT. Like boss
mm,
too tune for the people them no man, Johnny want to you. And also, and I'm not just saying this because they're not there, because if these individuals were here, they would attest. Pamela Maynard, she too sing. Say, holy Mike, how it song? Give me a mic check. Yeah, am I good? All right, do your thing. Yeah, she was sing too. So
mm,
these are individuals that, because remember now, I'm here, and knowing that they got music that they can sing, and I got that moment. I share moments like that with Jamaicans too. I have Frankie Paul. I was fortunate. Harry Melville and the Blue Notes. I played for a block party. Took my system out there. When I got there, they got 4 stands with 4 microphone lines. And I was like, what's happening? Luckily, I had a good board back then, a nice mixing board, convene everybody. And I was blown away. Hara Melvin, he came with a cane. He sat down. He sang. He was sitting and singing because for whatever reason he had a little health issues. But for about an hour and roughly about an hour, they performed. And at the end
mm.
of it all, it's like, man, we thank you, man. Good sound. And I tell you, that moment, I felt good. But taking it back
Awesome.
home, I gotta go with my locals. I gotta go
Johnny
with my
Brown.
locals. And let me tell you something back home too. Back home, there was a female by the name of Patricia Arthur. I
Mm,
don't know. Some folks might be able. You understand? Patricia Arthur, man. There was a youth division band, and they used to have parties right across from the station on Brickdam. Yeah, Compton Coolidge too. Yeah, I know
mm.
him. Senior for me at Christchurch too. Yeah, back
Rest
home.
his soul too. Yeah, but thanks for that. But what song reminds you of your parents?
My parents. All right, my father, right? It's funny. I could hear this one straight. My father, the first song I ever hear he humming was "I'm leaving on a jet plane," and I think he's probably. When I think about it, I laugh because I said this man used to be humming this song. God damn, he's planning on leaving my mom. Saying he's singing this song from time to time, but that was his song. That was his song. My mother, I can't really pin a song to her because she had a wide horizon when it comes to the music, and she had a way. I'll be playing the music sometimes, and she'd be in the kitchen, and she used to break out a small whistle, like she would whistle along to some of the songs, and
Mm,
she's stitching and and 2 words, but she would whistle along to these songs, and that prompted me to try to start learning to whistle. I kid you not,
mm,
because the woman used to do some things, but for me to pick a particular song, you know what? In subsequent years, just after passing, there's a Sam Cooke song saying, "If I go a
one of my favorites
million
too.
miles away,
Nothing's going to change
I'll
this
write
love.
a
Mm,
letter
mm,
to you each
And
and
every
every
day,
day. Cause
'cause
honey,
honey,
nothing,
nothing
nothing.
can
Now
ever
that's a
change.
song, and I found that out recently. Like, wow, she really liked the song. And you know
Mm,
what? I played it, and when I listened to it, I was like, damn, she's thinking about me. And she's really
mm.
feeling that song because I felt the same way. Love that woman, boy.
Awesome, awesome, man. Yeah, yeah. Good. We can talk about our parents, man. The storytelling here at CRL 365. I'm glad folks are sticking and staying. And
They ain't
Yvonne
going
Jordan is
away.
saying,
They want
Yvonne
to hear
Jordan is
more
saying,
of me. I
yeah,
kid you
Yvonne
not.
wants to
I know
sing
they
some
ain't
more.
going away.
Yvonne is saying, sing style this thing. I miss you on Sunday, she says. You know, and when Sonny said he saw Johnny Braff sing at karaoke in Brooklyn, man, I'm telling you, things we make people
Yeah,
do as
Johnny
DJs.
Brown, that's some boy, yo.
Yeah, yeah. Mary Figueroa, I'm not well. I'm waiting for a operation to fix the valve in my heart, she says. I was hospitalized recently. Mary responded to someone, perhaps. Thank you so much for coming on in. You always follow me what I do. I wish that you get speedy recovery and that you get the kind of care that you need wherever you go for it. Blessings to you also tonight.
That's right.
Uh,
God
let's
blessing to
let's
you,
keep her in
Mary.
our prayers. And I do have some pastors here that would definitely render prayers for you. I know I got Dr. Virginia Seeley. I see Reverend Samantha Brown, and I know I see Apostle Harper. So please, let's keep Miss Mary Figueroa in your prayers. And that is storytelling, but as people come in and they have needs, that's what we're here for. We definitely, as DJs, we wear several hats, man. When we go there, you agree, right?
Totally.
You do agree? Yeah. So
Totally.
let me ask you this though, before the food get cold and stuff. If your crate could tell a story of you styling, what would be the title?
If my crate,
Yes.
my music crate,
All your music crate, your music crate. If it could tell a story of you, what would be the title?
he's a winner. Whoa,
Hmm.
whoa, whoa, follow him. He's a winner.
Yeah, no,
He got so much selection makes you feel better. That
wow.
DJ styling.
Wow.
I just picked that one out straight out of
That's
hand.
that's that's awesome. I'm talking to DJ Styling, man, a versatile DJ, and he's giving us some storytelling here tonight. He's cooking, and we having a few drinks. I don't know what you got in your glass, but I got a mixture of Capadula, Cockshan, Sarsaparilla, Grady Backbone, just dipping some light white wine. I don't know what you got there, but
Well,
it's
I
good,
must
good.
say, such a combination. I wanna just insert. At your age, if you're going to choose to, let me
Tell
just
it, man. It's storytelling. Go
now
ahead.
let me scratch this,
I
man.
can.
That's inappropriate. But there's always that possibility of high risk. So consider that. I just say that much and no more. Folks can
High
read
risk for
between the
what,
lines.
Styling? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
High risk for what?
Where are you drinking granny backbone, sarsaparilla, capadula, all them things? Ladies, what going on? Boom, boom, Marjorie, tell me what happening if this man
What's good?
drinking all of them things. Who he on a mission, right?
No, I just preserving my youth. I'm just preserving my youthfulness. That's all. I'm trying to make sure I walk and stay walking straight when I'm 99. I don't want to bend over, so I'm preserving my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Women could do that too.
There's this guy used to write and he used to sell some mixtures, and what was his theme talk? Theme thing. He used to say, "Put it back in your back. Put it back
Otis,
in your back."
listen, Otis makes some stuff. Otis got some stuff for me. I don't know why he didn't give it to me when he saw me on Saturday. But Otis mixed some coction together, man. Good night to you, Janet. Good night. You're late, Janet. You definitely got to come in and put some comments in there because you're late. I'm cutting you a slack. But we're talking to DJ Styling, his storytelling here right now, and he's patient with me tonight because I don't want him to come back. So, and I know you don't mind talking about himself. Let people know that he has made an impact in this world and he's valuable. And this month of June, I am definitely spotlighting our men here on this platform, and this is CRL 365. Let's go on. So, Styling, are you good, man?
I'm perfectly okay.
You need
I'm
a
I'm
refill
I'm
or
good with
anything?
all this. I'm actually enjoying this. I mean,
Awesome, awesome.
this is something I can do flawlessly, hands down.
Mm,
Like I say, I'm just being myself right here, right now, as usual,
Mm,
and I'm comfortable.
okay. Tell us then the most funniest thing that ever happened while you're DJing.
Funniest thing. Uh, I gotta jog my memory for a moment. Funniest thing. Funniest thing. Have mercy. Good question. You know, funniest thing. Oh wow. Oh, so hilarious. That really grabbed me. You know what?
It's
Please
coming. It's
pardon me.
coming.
Please
It's
pardon me. Please
you can't
pardon me,
find that.
sir. Please pardon me, my friend. May you rest in peace. The funniest
Oh,
thing that ever happened with me, DJ, my friend, God rest his soul, took off his prosthetic leg and threw it in the
oh,
middle of the floor.
oh no!
Oh my gosh, how did I remember that? Don't ask me. I like it. That's the funniest thing that ever happened. Buck take off, he prosthetic foot and throw.
Woo-wee. That is something, man. That is awesome. You see, we gotta have laughter here, man. We do. It's
And I
storytelling,
kid
and
you
that's what we
folks
do.
not, it actually happened. I kid you not.
Mm,
It's funny, it came back to me. I mean, there's so many things that, so many events I experienced through time. But humorously, oh, buck their coffee one foot.
Steiner, what's the biggest crowd you played for, man? The biggest crowd.
um, biggest crowd. We go back. I think that was when I played. It was me and Hannah on Glenwood Road. Glenwood visual crowd. Yeah, I think that was that moment. Being DJ on the Glenwood Road was Barbie's reunion
Shout
after
out
they
to DJ
moved.
Lady Supreme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after they moved from Woodbine because they had the year prior something played out. Cops came, shut it down early, and then they went to venue on Glenwood Road there.
Mm,
Glenwood and 40 something. Yeah, I think that would have been. Yeah,
mm, awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I shout her out, man. I played with her a couple of times.
yeah.
Great lady, man.
And,
From
and you
Summer
know what?
Swiss, man.
I was looking forward to that.
Mm,
I really, I got a chance to really make a statement. It's amazing, I say this much, it's okay. Life is as such, but I listen to DJs and I give them prompts. I play when I can, when I'm hired. You know, I know for a fact politics is a thing. And I understand where I stand in that term, in the political sense of the finicky part of the business. I
mm,
understand
mm,
that. But it works for me too. Folks who are in my network will retain me, for choice of better words. If they will hire
mm,
me, as a because I listen to others and be like, hey, it's all good. You know,
mm,
I
mm,
I've had the privilege of playing for events where prestigious people are out there. You know,
mm,
I've played. I've been hired to play for weddings on ship. I've
mm,
been fortunate. You know, there was one particular time a guy requested me to play on his 50th quite a while back, but he used to be in an environment where it kind of shocked me
mm,
that he selected me because he was in an environment where he could select at least two or three other DJs.
mhm,
The style I want you play. I said, all right, take him from the. I figured just geesing me as we say, or But then coming down, he's like, silent, we good, right? I said, all right, I got you. And lo and behold, at that function, there was the other DJs there. And
Mm.
I had a good view because I was like in the upper level and everyone was
Yeah.
down there. And
Mm.
my phone was going off. Folks were texting me, it's like, wow, styling. Yeah. You got everybody. My greatest experience one night playing music, right? And it was I gotta mention him too, another influential individual that I was fortunate to have a relationship with. His name was Delmar Griffith.
Mm.
Folks would know him as Big D. Um, there was a function at Bamboo Gardens. I used to do the karaoke there,
Mm.
and there's a guy had a party there, and he just amalgamated what he felt was suffice for him to make some money. So it was Big D, it was Samuel's representatives, and it was DJ Styling.
Mm.
And I was there. Quinn, I'm not gonna really go into all the details, but I I erupted. I made a statement, a computerized statement, because they say computer is disruptive, and that was a statement I made the night. I mean, the place was well attended and everything, and everybody was doing their thing. You know, it was like, with the exception of Big D, every other DJ, because it was an amalgam, it was a family against me.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was okay because back then I was sleeping, eating, breathing, nothing but music. I was all into my music. Let me tell you, that's another thing.
Mm.
Sometimes other things takes precedence. I have a passion for music, and there are times I just want to do me. I just take me time because I would do music all the time. All the time. I kid you not. But and I was really committed to that for the last 3 years because I was playing on another platform, a radio platform, and I was hell bent on bringing new content every time I play. So
Mm.
I was definitely combing through my crates, making sure I'm not too repetitive, and
Mm.
I was putting distance between if I have to play back certain selections. Keep in mind, as a DJ, and I'm saying this, there are some selections a DJ would like, and there are some listeners don't mind hearing it, given every week. I
Right.
mean, not a
Right.
whole the same song, but there are some particular songs that some listeners don't mind hearing weekly
Mm.
that I notate. And that's the other thing about delivering your music. Preparation. And again, I say knowing your catalog and preparation.
Mm. I thank you for that, man. I want to ask because I made a lot of mistakes in my time. What is the most disastrous event you had and mistakes you would have made, and how did you recover from it?
Well, as far as DJing mistakes, um, I mean, we have good nights, we have a bad night, but as far as error, error on a DJ part will be taking a gig that the crowd or the folks that are there are not receptive, and that will be an error on the DJ's part, because I say this again, I will not play for a Sweet 16.
Mm. Like me.
Yeah,
Mm.
major error.
Mm.
And for me, I was halfway spared because It was my eldest daughter. She was turning 16, but I outfitted the sound and everything, and I started to play. But I, as a father, I couldn't play the music with them verbiage and all of that, So that was the
Mm.
error on my part. But I afford mentioned to her, you have to get you young DJ to come and do this.
Yeah, yeah. I let them come and play on my stuff. If they hire
Yeah,
me, I'd probably go.
yeah. I said,
But
just let
I'll
him
find a young
come.
one. Yeah, let him come and
Yeah,
play.
but I mean, it wasn't a total mistake as per se. Well,
Mm.
damn. But before he got there, I shouldn't even play because I'm trying to. Back then, the controllers ain't got uh, them buttons so you could touch and it bleep it out and all that. And I'm trying to.
Mm.
I say, hell no, I ain't doing this crap. You know.
Yeah.
But when he
Mm.
showed up, I was like, it's all yours. Go ahead, young man.
Mm. So, Stalin, what happens when a pastor and his wife ask you to come play for their 50th birthday or 60th birthday, 70th birthday? What happens with your genre? What happens with your style of music?
Well, I tell you one thing: 50th, 60th, I got no problems with that. I just gotta go in another section of the box. I got music. Trust me. I'm not worried about those events.
For the
I don't
Christians,
worry about it.
for the spiritual at heart people.
Listen, I lost the music. I lost some music that I really, and I want to say this. When I first started playing on radio, it was exclusive radio,
Mm.
and the year was, I think, 2008. When I started playing on exclusive radio, I used to play from 6 to 9. I used to play gospel.
Mm.
Yeah, I mix the old gospel with the contemporary gospel, and I had that collection coming all the way down. If I today now, because I lost a lot of my gospel music, and the thing about it is, if you're dedicated and your focus, it's just time you have to invest,
Mm.
because that's the key factor. You can always regain what you once had.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I'm hired to play, and I know, okay, this is what this event is going to be about, prior notice, I'll
Mm.
prepare myself.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Be
Again,
relevant.
quoting
Mm.
my school teacher, if you fail to prepare,
Mm.
prepare to fail.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. But why do listeners connect with your voice? Your nice husky male voice. Why do they connect to you like this? Gaylan and Sugar Boom Boom Audrey and Yvonne and all these folks, Yannette, follow you on Twitch. Why do they connect to your voice like this?
Because it's a thing about sexuality. And let me tell you
Mm.
this, um fellas, no disrespect, you know if you listen to brothers like um Barry White,
Mm.
um what's the other ball guy name, but
Isaac
just for
Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, just for a synopsis. Now, women, women love, women love the way a man will speak to them, and the tone that he will use,
Mm.
and I don't know. I'm just saying this because this is not something that I had planned to do, or I had set out to do, but through responses, I start to recognize that folks are moved by the tone of my voice, and I don't do anything to that. I just be myself. Now, the attraction is obvious because here is a man who has command of the English language, is relating, and I love the tone of his voice. I, you know, it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing, DJ Quinn. You
To
know,
the extent that they would record your voice and play it back. Because I heard you telling them one night, I know not some of you love my voice. I'm giving you the permission to record my voice, and you could always play it back. Why do you do that, Styling?
you heard me saying so. Now you see, that's a radio personality thing because when you have an audience that enjoy what you do, you have to give them something that they can keep, that they can
Mm.
take away, and without taking a part of you away from you, they have something
Oh.
that they can hold on to. And that's the thing about songs. That's the thing about music, because
Mm.
you can listen to a particular song over and over and it will make you get goose pimples and all of that. And it's there.
Mm.
And it's not taken away from the artist that did that song, but
Mm.
it's pleasurable to you. I love women, DJ Quinn, and I
Mm.
wish you didn't really ask me that question because
Well,
a lot of women know that I'm nothing but a lover, and I w-
and styling, a lot of men might be intimidated by your voice because when you start talking like this and they're with a girl that it's vulnerable. I mean, I'm concerned that you might very well be enticing in your voice. It's a concern. So what? I mean, it's fearful.
it
This kind of
shouldn't be,
voice you have.
it shouldn't be because again I say, each one teach one. Fellas, you don't have to use my tone, but you can find your own tone that will command your partner's attention verbally. And I say again, I say this much, you know it's not what you do but how you do it. you know
Mm.
what can I say, DJ Quinn?
Look, Snyder, I'm gonna let you come out to that tone, man, because you might I don't know, you causing some effects right here, Snyder. Let me let you go to your regular self, man. Let me let you use your real voice. Is it your real voice? Are you using this, Snyder?
Now, I want the masses to know, right? There's no filtration, there's no AI, there's nothing to this. But here's where I get intense. When I engage the audience, when I engage my listeners, I if you were listening to me, if anyone was listening to this show earlier, they would have heard me mentioning a brother by the name of Matthew Allen.
Yeah.
And he had a way, he had a suave way of dealing with radio. And I say this, there's a brother that's on the radio by the name of Lenny Green.
Mm.
Folks will be able to relate to him also. There's a way, and it's very effective. When you do radio, if you do radio as a radio personality, you can command the attention of your listening audience if
Mm.
you know how to talk.
Mm. Man, I'm talking to the legend, man, DJ Styling, Taps Styling. And your fellow DJs are here. DJ Marlon Perry's on here tonight with us. He's saying good night, my brothers. Blessings from DJ Perry. I know you know DJ Perry.
Most
Uh,
definitely. And I'll tell you
he-
something about DJ Perry. I'm glad that he's here listening. That's a true brother. I hold him
yeah,
in
we go
high esteem.
way back.
I hold
Parliament,
him in
million
high
years.
esteem because he has a pure heart. You know,
Mm.
he has a pure heart. And I'll say this much. If I show up and DJ Perry is DJing and he has his wife, I mean, depending on who's the promoter and whatever. I've experienced this, and he can attest. He said, "Start and play two tune. Let me dance with my wife just one moment." Or if he had to make a bathroom run, he would say, "Style it, just mix a song, mix two tune in for me. I got in bathroom." And I respect him because there are few genuine DJs. And I
Mm,
say this to say that I will invite you to my platform. There's no
mm,
fear within me to smother you because
mm.
you will bring something different.
Of course. I give you all my library. You can never play like I do. I can never
Exactly.
play like DJ Styling. That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Hmm. Shouts out to you, DJ Marlon Perry, man. You and your wife, man. I love it. You guys are having good times and traveling and showing your pictures. I love it when folks get out, styling. Get out and take your bride or your loved one, your spouse out and let the world
Yeah.
know you're having a good time. Some people get jealous for stuff like that, right? Don't they?
Well, here's the thing. You know, life is designed in a way that you can either do or not do.
Hmm.
Opportunity present itself, you're capable of doing, then it's only right that you do. Because big phrase everybody say tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So given
Yeah,
the opportunity, it presents itself, do why not engage,
yeah.
indulge.
Which is why I'm going to ask all the questions I can of you tonight. I hope you got some more time. I'm talking to DJ Styling, the legendary Taps Styling, one of Gaylan's favorite, Yanet and Sugar Boom Boom Audrey. All them follow you, man. They love your
Let me
voice. They
tell
love
you
your music.
something. Let me tell you something, DJ Quinn. Seriously, right? I'm in no competition with anyone. Um,
Mm,
I challenge most. Let's do radio. Let's interact. Let's play music. And we could do side by side in the studio. You play one selection, I play one. And I would really love that. But this is what is understood, clearly understood across platforms that I don't like styling because,
mm.
uh, you know, why? And if you ask that question, I don't like he, why? What has he
They can't give
done
a
to
good reason,
you?
huh?
They
Mm,
don't have a legitimate, solidified reason for disliking me. But key things surrounds my level of confidence, my ability to relate, my
mm,
personality, my humor,
mm,
my presentation when I'm out
mm.
there. And I'm not doing anything to anybody, but it's okay. I'm a product of Edna and Sam, so
Mm.
that can't change.
Respect and manners to them too. But
Yes.
what is the difference between a DJ and a radio broadcaster in your own terms?
Okay. It's a vast difference. It's a vast difference because a DJ will come into a party and he has a specific time. More of if he's playing alone or if he's playing with other DJs, he has a specific time to do his thing and he has immediate crowd response where he has a visual of
Mm,
what's happening. On the contrary, as a radio personality, well, with the provision of the chat interaction, you can actually, and on the contrary, you can't see who's listening, but the chat
mm.
now, with the interactions in chat,
If they
it will
choose
give
to.
you an
Mm,
idea as to, for those who are active. But taking all that away, you have to find you have to find a way to tap into the masses. Now, when you DJ for a party, maximum, even if you're playing in an open air session, 1,000 people,
mm,
but you on radio, now you don't know how many viewers or listeners there is.
mm, mm,
So you have to be prepared to deliver to the masses, the
Mm.
multitude, which can be exponentially compared to whoever's in a party. Now, let me break this down now. Numbers, not just numbers, but keeping them there. Now, I've had the opportunity to, well, it was reported to me, so I can't say like personally viewing. But
Mm.
I've seen graphic, depictions through graphs of listenership when I used to be on another platform compared to other nights or other days generally
Mm.
when I'm on radio compared to when I'm not, when other individuals are on.
Mm.
So a DJ, yeah, he do his thing because a DJ can also be repetitive with his repertoire. He played
Mm.
this Saturday. He go back next Saturday on our location. He played the same thing.
Mm.
When you're on radio, if you choose to become monotonous, you're losing. Ratings going
Mm.
down. Ratings going
Mm.
down. Ratings going.
Wow.
So it's a big, big difference. And I say
Mm.
this not contradicting or bashing a DJ because I DJ on radio, I DJ for parties, and there's a difference with me on radio as to when I play for functions.
Mm.
I mean, depending on what slot I'm doing, what is predominantly the theme of the segment,
Right.
I will
Right.
play that specific kind of
Relevance.
music.
Mm.
But when
Relevance
I go for a
genre.
function, then I go
Mm.
across the board. I get a
Right.
chance to
Right.
see some people gyrate, make some people shake what they
Right.
what their parents give them. Because some of them
Right.
it's not to their mother give them alone,
Mm.
it's both father and mother. Because
Mother. Let's say goodnight to Janet Bach, man. She's here with us and she's definitely active in the chat. And so are you, Hazel Nestor, Sugar Bumba Marjorie, and Marlon Perry. And you know what? I didn't even realize when I scheduled this interview with you that the Knicks were playing tonight. And there it is now. Hazel is calling me out. She said, Quinn, I was alarmed when you scheduled an interview on a playoff game night. But New York is getting
getting
a
the trunks in.
something
So
so
that's the
great.
inevitable. I
Johnson.
expected
Well,
that.
well, I'm glad they can come over here tonight and learn some things from you.
Yeah. They getting a
I'm
fire
not
ass
glad that they're losing, but I'm
cocktail.
glad that they can find an alternative to come on out to hear from DJ Styling because this is storytelling over here. So thank you for reminding me. Here's Ernesto. I didn't mean to take you guys away from your game. I'm not into the game too much. I had a time of that, and now I'm trying to uh, do more empowerment and more inspiring things in my life.
And I
Thank you
want
so
to
much,
say,
Hazel.
I want to interject, DJ Quinn, because I, I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
I must say that I'm elated being here, but most importantly, I definitely like this, and I applaud you. I applaud you in what you're doing. I seriously do applaud you in what you're doing, and I trust that you will continue on this path because it's not just what you're doing, but it's the effect of what you're doing.
Mm,
Because you're giving folks like myself a platform who are able to relate, and on the other end, there are listeners who are receptive, who will get a different perspective on the
mm,
individuals that you bring on your platform in relation to their own lives.
yeah, it's storytelling. Mm. You know, Styling, I gotta ask you because I saw you with your cap and gong and holding your certificate in your hand, a proud moment for you. And a lot of times people underrate DJs. What is your take on the underrating of DJs, thinking that that's all they do in life?
Well, you know, back home, modern day folks will be able to relate to terms like stereotype, you know, and it's prevalent in today's society. Folks have a tendency to stereotype and categorize and
Mm,
marginalize things of that nature. For me, like, I was a returning student, and I was reluctant to do a lot of things, not because I was incapable of, but because my lifestyle,
mm,
at that time, because I would have recalled saying to an individual one time, uh, but you never too old for go back to school. It's like, man, I ain't got no time to go back to school, no, man. I ain't got no time with that. And destiny takes you where you have to go. And I was thrust into a situation, and I was um I was under a lot of duress. I was under a lot of stress, and I made a calculated decision that I am going to try to obtain a GED
mm,
in the US of A. So I opted to get into one of those classes, free classes.
mm.
They have it under adult education or something to
Yeah,
that
some
nature.
credits, yeah. Hmm.
So I went there, and I got a little proctored, a little test proctored by a man by the name of Stanley Shavis.
Mm,
So I was accepted into the GD prep class.
hmm.
The year was 2010. Hold up. No, let me back up. 2011. 2011 December, beginning December, or latter part of November. So after the initial test, he came to me and he said, you attended school? And I said, no, I never attended school in the US of A. I attended school back home. And he's like, this is GD grades that you attained at this test. I was like, wow, okay. So I was then placed in a class where I became very popular in that classroom. I
Mm,
would say that because after being placed there was one instructor, and then he left, and then there was another guy came. His name was Felder Charles.
mm,
He's of Haitian descent, and he came, took over the class, and we were there, and he was rolling out things, and it consists of compositions, and hey, the works. And he looked at me one day and he's like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" I said, "Man, I'm trying to, prep to go get the GED." It's like, "Man, you already got that." Anyway, one day, Mr. Stanley Shavers, he did a workshop. Folks, please bear with me. I'm storytelling, right? He did a workshop, and he mentioned that you can get into college and earn GED credits, towards your high school diploma. And I was like, really? Because I had tried prior to submit college entrance submissions, and everyone was asking for either high school diploma or GED, which I didn't
mm,
have. Keeping in mind, I took GCO levels in Guyana prior to me migrating to the US of A. So anyway, Stanley Shavers did a workshop. He's like, oh, I said, so after he finished, I said, is that true what you stated earlier? That I can start college and earn credits towards my high school diploma? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you interested? I said, sure. So he said, okay, we have a prep class before you take the college entrance examination. He said, I suggest just go do that prep class. I said, okay. So I was ejected from the GED prep program, trusted into a college examination preparation class at Toro College.
Mm. Okay.
I the day of the test now, I'm there. It was a full room, everybody on a computer. But then I found folks were leaving like quick. And I said, God damn, they that good? Meanwhile, I'm there, going through the whole process, tedious, taking my time. After the computer, they bought a pencil and pad. They want me to write an essay. And I was like, but I see folks get up and they didn't have to go through all this. Let's get to the crunch of this.
Mm.
I emerged. I was accepted. The rest is probably history. And for those of you who will probably hear me saying this and care to doubt, right? I started my first year, even into my second, I was maintaining a 4.0 GPA.
Wow.
I graduated. I graduated finally with a 3.77 GPA. And if I'd really known that for a little bit more, I would have been sitting on the stage graduation day, I would have
Summa cum laude.
really maintained that. But
Mm.
it was returning back to school for me, and I was very much grown. The year was 2012. I graduated in 2016, and you know, it's no feather for me. It's no flag for me to wave. But if I have to, I can always evoke that, because I earned it. I did it.
Mm.
I endured it. I made that
Yeah.
sacrifice, and I'm proud of myself.
Proud of you, man. Proud of you. A DJ who's educated. That's an awesome thing. A DJ who can actually dance, who's educated, who's handsome, who have a good voice, who knows music. I got five. I can go to the other hand.
Yeah,
You know.
amongst other things, right? I'm a great father, great
Mm.
grandfather,
Okay.
great great grandfather, and
Oh,
and
wow.
I love cooking. I love
Mm.
baking. I don't have a problem with pressing. I have my
Wow. My
two
hands are
little
filled.
boys.
My hands
I
are
have
filled.
two little boys. They're both on high honor roll. And
Mm.
and I'm proud. I'm proud.
Yeah. Proud of you too, man. Proud of you too. Long time I haven't seen you too, Marlon. Keep up the good work there in New York and elsewhere, man. I always love to know my brothers are connecting. I don't know what's happening with the brothers, man. The ladies are on this thread more than the men these days. I know
You
we
know,
ought to be
you
iron ought to
mentioned
be
that
sharpened
before,
iron.
and it eluded me.
Mm.
Excuse me. But in today's society, fellas are taking the background because they feel that there's an inability, and I don't understand why, because if you engage brothers, if you're listening, you don't have to be afraid. You can engage a brother and you can learn. You can engage a sister and you
Oh
can
yeah,
learn.
of course.
As opposed to being quiet. If you have a voice, speak up. We all stand corrected. There's no
Mm.
perfect being, but break out of that shell. I've played at events numerous times, and I see there's a gathering where you come forward and you take the microphone and you offer salutations to whoever, and you so shy to do that. That's
Mm.
kindergarten. That's
Can't look a brother. You
kindergarten.
can't look a brother in the eye. You can't do a real
Yeah.
handshake. You're shaky. I'll be like, hold my hands properly, man. Give me a good shake. Give me a good handshake, man. I don't know what's happening to our brothers, man, but this is Men's Month, right? And men's health is very important to me. What is your take on how we ought to care for ourselves, practicing the power of care, self care, and about our mental illness, mental health conditions, our physical health? Talk to us about your take on men's health.
Well, I would say this in general, in men, women. Let's first start at the core of it, genetics. The
Mm.
reason why I say genetics because you know we win some, we lose some. Some things we can't shag because it's wired in our DNA. You know,
Mm.
I pray God I don't know. But eat healthy, eat healthy, and even if you're eating unhealthy as we've been accustomed to, incorporate if you can some form of exercise. You know, because it's imperative. You if you reevaluate some folks who were fortunate to live to some tremendous numbers, I would want to say they were wired that way, for choice of better terms. But most importantly, you can't shag if you have a hereditary family illness.
Mm.
But if it is recognized, then what you can do and before it gets there is take precautionary measures. You know, oftentimes, I mean, I'm not, I'm not qualified as a physician, but oftentimes, there's always the signs. There's always the signs, and start small.
Mm.
If you can get on top of it while it's minute,
Get on top
then
of it.
there's a likelihood that you can stay on top of it. My
Mm.
father was hypertensive, and it's a thing that often, would come up in my mind because I have what's called white cloak syndrome.
Mm.
Whenever
Okay.
I go to see doctors, I don't know, it's always they check me, oh, your blood pressure is high. I mean, it always happens whenever I go. I don't know. I mean, it's a psychological thing. This I know
Mm.
because I'll be home and I'm concerned and I check today, check tomorrow, check the next day. I'm normal. But when I got to go to them. Now, I'm not taking that to say, well, yeah, I mean, from time to time, I will check. But what I know about our people in North America, we tend to get complacent, both men and women. You know,
Mm.
there's limited physical activities that will get them moving. In Guyana, you just get holes under your shoes, your heel
Mm.
is going down and all them things. Reason being because you just walk, sun is
Mm.
burn you. Sometimes you gotta run quick because the rain come down and all them things. You might
Mm.
bust a little sweat, the place hot, the sun beaming on you. So these things contribute to not unhealthiness because of climatic conditions and activities. On the contrary, you're in North America, it's cold, you bundle up, trying to stay
Mm.
barely warm. You're in something, out of something. You ain't sweating. You eat when you can. Sometimes it's late night, like most of we do, like don't and sleep. And
Mm.
then if it's not a hard gainer as I am, you start to put on weight. And then it becomes your body becomes now lethargic. You get lazy, and it leads
Mm.
to complications. So for me, that that's my take on that.
I'll take that. You know what? I got to invite you to my men's panel every third Saturday, 5 p.m. if you got a time. I know you got a show. You do. We'll see if it's feasible to your time. 5 p.m.
I can
third
definitely make
Saturdays.
adjustment.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying yes already. But this is Men's Month also, and we got a few moments before I let you go to bed. Why should we be celebrated this month of June? Men,
Well, I'll tell
fathers.
you, I'll tell you seriously, right? I mean, ladies, if you're out there, you definitely understand where I'm going with this because some of you would be able to acknowledge that fathers, there's a lot of fathers that they scared a raw deal, you
Mm.
know. It's not that they never wanted to be a part of that child or children's life, but because they wasn't adding up to your expectation. Now, with that said, on the contrary, there are some mothers who are deceased and fathers never left their kids alone. And there's some
Mm.
mothers who are still there and fathers who are there in the household who mothers can say, I don't have to worry when I leave. They're with their father and they're in good hands. I don't have to worry. I've been gone all week. I come home on weekends, but daddy's there. Fathers need to be celebrated because they are truly an important individual in children's lives. And statistics would show that so many kids without a father in the home, they are more than likely geared to make the prison system even more profitable.
Mm.
Fathers are important, and I respect all the fathers that are there, even the ones who are shut out not by choice, but systematically shut out of their children's lives. I respect those fathers also because I've been there. I've appeared in family court, and I could tell you all stories. I've appeared in family court to gain custody. I've appeared in family court to get my child out of a juvenile detention center because his
Mm.
mother and what she contributed. And don't get me wrong, ladies. Again, I say this should not be a personal thing. You do the wrong to keep the father out, and then you do double wrong to mislead the child. But again, fathers should be honored just as much as mothers,
Mm.
because there are some fathers who plays the role also as mothers. Granted, whenever it's Mother's Day, everybody goes out. Everybody goes out. Like
Mm.
moms, yeah, and I won't take that away. Ladies, love y'all bad. But who do you all love? You will give birth to a son and you will love him more than his dad. And then he becomes a father. What happens? Do you stop loving him? No. He's still your son, right? But he's a father, right? Food for thought.
Food for thought, man. We down to the wire, man. We getting down low. I like your patience style. And you could have been doing any other thing tonight. You're staying with me, and folks are sticking and staying with us. And I know that if I ask you to come back, we can carry on this conversation. But while we're hot, why don't we beat the iron while it's hot? Shouldn't we? Let's beat the iron, right?
Hey,
We got how much? Let's
make
beat
it,
it, man.
make
Let's beat
it,
it. Make hay
make
while the
it.
sun shine. Let's do that. So we are celebrating also our 60th independence, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And you've been there perhaps all 60 years of your life and more, and seen the progress, the different eras. Speak to us about your satisfaction or your dissatisfaction of where Guyana is right now in our 60th independence celebration.
Well, I am. I've briefly dabbled in some political science back in Guyana high school. But the
Okay.
question that you were asking me, um, and I must say, my disclaimer, I have no affiliation with any political party in Guyana or even any parties in the US of A. I totally exempt myself. But in response to the question that you asked me, DJ Quinn, and I will say, from what I've experienced in Guyana, right? First of all, and that's the killer right there, is the division. You know,
Mm.
similar to the US of A and the current democracy, you know, anyone that's good for a cause or a country through leadership will want to have a united country. And that's my take realistically, if I was to be, or if I was to recognize a real true leader of any any country, he will have to be one which is focused on a united citizen.
Mm.
So the first question you ask about how I feel about it, for me, it's not a good thing because there is division, right? Now I can recall, right? And it's funny, because when you will ask me some questions and folks will wonder, like, how the hell this man always got something he could say about these things.
Mm.
Growing up
You're
where I'm
knowledgeable.
born in
You're
Buddha,
knowledgeable.
the landlord that lived upstairs of us in the front, they were upstairs, we were downstairs, and then there was a house in the back, up and down. They had a daughter by the name of Jacqueline. I can call names, Jacqueline Bacchus.
Mm.
When I get home in the afternoons to do my homework, they used to send Jacqueline Bacchus downstairs so I can help her with her homework. But my point I'm trying to make here is that at the time it was LFSB, and the country wasn't that divided.
Mm.
Indian, and keep in mind, my mother's father was an Indian man.
Mm.
And I used to say things growing up to my mother, you know how we say things, because my older aunts, deceased, they got with Indians, and I have Indian relatives.
Mm.
So I used to say to my moms, I say, "Don't worry them, you see them as so and so." And she used to be like, "You can't say so because it's your family." I said, "But yeah,
Mhm.
mommy, but the thing about it, they so." But my point is, they were more tight knit. Let me tell you, I work at John Strong Abattoir. I work around amongst Indians, and I can say this. I emerged, and fortunately for me, I was very well respected and trusted by Indians.
Mm.
I They trusted me with their funds and all these things, man. I used to be right there amongst them. Today now, political leaders in the country now, they separate the country, and that one of the biggest downfall, and they're capitalizing on it because the black folks, the roles are reversed. Let me put it like this: the roles are reversed. Growing up as a youth, as a kid, black folks wanted their children to gain proper education.
Mhm.
Eventually, the Indo-Guyanese started to fund their children and get them integrated into schools, just like Afro descendants in schools. And this I know because they started coming to town, to school, high
Mm.
schools, not country schools no more, coming to town, to schools, integrated. So through time, they become now more knowledgeable because it's a handful who are interconnected, and not all of them are really intellectual either. But let's deviate for a quick moment and reflect on the educators. Majority
Mhm.
of the educators, they're still of African descent. Let's let's move over to the health section. Hospitals, nurses, majority, they're still
African
Afro
descent.
descendants. Let's
Mhm.
move over to security. They're
Mm.
still
Police,
predominantly descendants of African Guyanese.
law
Afro
enforcement.
Now, in all these sectors, important sectors, I say key sectors, they are there, but yet the leaders of the country still has them as they're not of value. In order for us to elevate and move forward from that, and I say this now, I've been there, and I've seen, and I can relate. There's a lot of opportunities if are true, and I say again, a united country move forward fast, fast,
Mm.
elevate. I mean, I don't know, in terms of how much is being made in terms of US dollars, because everybody says, well, okay, we're producing oil. Yeah, we are producing oil. I don't know what was etched at the table we was signed to, because they could be getting pennies on the dollars, but because of the volume, it's adding up. Well, my thing
Mhm.
is create jobs, reduce crime, reduce poverty. Now,
Mm.
if you're getting fundings from your resources, then do so, and turn
Mm.
around the economy, because now everybody will be employed, and those
Mm.
who are gainfully employed can offer employment. Evidently,
Mm.
the domino effect will trickle down, so everybody good.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. But congratulations, though, 60 years of independence. I know we can go a whole, farther into this subject, but
Now,
let's say goodnight to Gigi George is saying goodnight to us. Let's say goodnight to Gigi George
how you
and
doing,
one of your
Gigi?
followers also.
How you doing, girl? You're late. It's all right. You're straight. You see, Quinn, these are little things. I mean, hey, be yourself, man. Whatever you do, because being me, I don't have to do anything else but just be
Yeah,
myself.
right, right, right. But no, I want you to be yourself. Tell me about our trade skills for our young people in Guyana, and even here in the U.S. Your take on uh, entrepreneurship, trade skills being passed on to our young teenagers.
That's lost.
To me, it's depleting. I think it's
That's
depleting.
lost. That's lost.
Talk to us about what is the resolution for that, especially in Guyana, where we're
That's
from.
lost. First thing, you got to be able to reach out. Again, the political party in control cares nothing about that. And evidently, you know, I don't know the plan that they really have in place. Maybe they have individuals who will probably continue to lead the country, should they inevitably expire, because they're not going to be there forever. They're going to get old. 30 years from now, 40 years from now, who's going to emerge? Now, based on what you're saying, and there were times when I felt to myself, because I did computer science in college, right? And when I went home in 2009, I am I had some information on a flash drive, and I took it to a print shop, assume print shop, and I said, "Can you print this information and make me a booklet?" And the literacy level at that time, it wasn't even there. So that within itself, stuck a pin in me, and I was like, "Wow, oh shit, Kiana's yet to get there." But in my recent years back and forth, and the whole system that I observe is like nothing is being taught to the younger ones, because there are no workshops. And if we're to move forward as a nation, again, we have to move together.
Mm.
Now, there are individuals, and there was a time when I used to say, you know, if I can go home and get sponsorship, I would do little workshops where I can impart some of the things that I've learned in the US of A to others who are willing and receptive. You know,
Mm,
I know elaboratively I might not be able to spend lengthy times, but if I can do crunch classes, for one, I wanted to, get them more computer literate, where
mm,
we can do small workshops like introduction to Microsoft Word, things of that nature, and get their mind, kind of engaged with, put them on a pathway, you know what? Okay, I learned this. So I want to learn more because simply word to word, I will say to individuals like YouTube be your best friend. You got internet service.
of course, of course. It's
YouTube
one of the
has a
freest thing we have.
wealth of information. Google
Mm,
some things. It's right there. You got a smart device in your hand, but
mm,
the knowledge base, folks are comfortable where they at. And
mm,
that degree of comfort is what's holding them back. And again, a lot of them they can't face anything that's in their mindset challenging because
mm,
they never had the provisions from the tender years to create in their mindset a sense of curiosity, a sense of want, and a sense of want to know.
mm, mm.
It's sad.
Man, you dropping some nuggets, some wisdom here for us tonight. I'm so grateful for you, man. And that's to tell people, do not underrate a DJ. A DJ is a knowledgeable too, and you styling has definitely demonstrated that. But I have this last topic that is trending right now, styling. And I know you as a big brother, father, one who's in social media. I don't know if you know that there's a lot of videos out there where women seems to be, being caught abusing men, and so there's this domestic violence uptick, especially in Guyana, where it's becoming so graphic, trending across our free Wi-Fi, our free internet now. One of the freest thing we've had, and we so seems to be misusing it. What is your take on these videos that you're seeing, or have you seen it, where women are now the aggressors, abusive to men, especially in this month of May,
That's the
June?
whole
We're talking
story,
about
man. I'm
this
telling you,
whole
man.
story. All right,
That's the whole story.
okay.
Let me tell you, with age comes a lot of things, right? Used
Mm,
to work at the George Strong Abattoir, right? Had a
right.
man named Sal, aka we used to call his Swaro. He had a big skin, dark skin lady. I think it's Donna was her name. I don't remember too right. But
Mm,
he showing up himself a day and something she must be saying he play against she too slap. She didn't feel like taking it. She said, I is a tolerate you sometimes, but I can't take you. And she put a fine licking in his backside. Now, I'm saying this to say, right? Women being cutting men ass for the longest time. We ain't had
mm,
no evidence of replay it and all them things. Today, with
mm,
modern technology, people got a phone, they can videotape a thing and all that. So
mm,
it's becoming more visible. But
mm,
it's something going on all the time. Now, I want to tell you this. Hey, hey, DJ Quinn, life and its experiences, if you really is fortunate, you really, really get knowledgeable about a lot of things. Got women is a tolerate, and they got some women just as aggressive as men too. Just how
mm,
a man would probably want to put the hands on a woman. They got some women, they do the same thing to men. This is something been going. I've came to America and I've seen programs where some guys, you know, they talk this story about being in a relationship and they've been subjected to so much abuse. I see women when they get too close to a man, he covering up because he
mm,
don't know. She might give one or two because That's the norm. Now,
Mm.
these things has happened. And flip it. Flip side of that, right? If a man go to the station, I'm just saying this now, a man go to the station or precinct, in America, they probably handle it different. But if a man go to the station and get, and he head bust, he bleeding, and he eye swell up, and he telling it, I come for make a report. All right, sit down there and talk to you just now. Man, I want to make a report. All right, come. One to you, who? I want to tell you, hey, woman, the laugh at you. You a clown. You come here and report. You want to cut you behind, and you got the guts to come and tell me that they laugh at you. So it's only the visual now that make people know. But
Mm.
that's how society is. Society is so finicky because it's okay. I mean, over there, Guyana probably is all right. She caught
Mm.
TB, and she's a Maku man and all them names
Mm.
they find for you.
The Kunu Munu.
Yes, I couldn't flip the script. Flip the script. Let the reels reverse. The policeman, especially she come to the station, though she bungi, you look come, she got a nice little bomb. See thing, he coming for lock you up, cause he don't catch I
Mm.
for she. He don't say you and lock you behind up, you will beat you up and get rid of you. But I mean, putting a little humor in it, but
Yeah, yeah.
realistically, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the reality of this thing. Women been beating
Mm.
up men from a long time. Men too
Mm.
ashamed to say it. I got some little piece of man like me. Go and take I is 5'9.5" or whatever, go and take almost 6'2" next thing you know, when she just butt up upside me head. The most I could say thank you, may I have another.
Gigi George is saying we
On a
were talking
serious
about this. They just telling Gigi George is saying we were talking about the same subject on the Gigi show. Was it last night? Last night, yes. On the Gigi show, we had this conversation about the same topic, and people can go back and listen to it, look at it, and see just the same. And you didn't even listen to it, and you were saying the same thing. And you so. The other thing is, DJ Stalin, I'm trying for the longest to have a men's retreat where men could get together and iron sharpen iron. What is the problem with us traveling together, having retreats and sharpening each other? What do you think is happening?
Well, I could tell you one of the things that will deter that. Because a man has grown to become so secluded, with camaraderie, with brotherhood. You know, I got some bona fide brothers. When we get together, we hug up, laugh, talk. Men, you know, I don't know if it's this macho thing or what, but personally, man, I could do with a man's retreat right now. A whole bunch of we ever sit down and laugh and talk little, flat with foot gaff little. And somebody, yo, buddy, you drop to sleep on we gaff and you snore and we make little laugh and them thing because, hey, that's me. But I don't
Yeah,
know. Some guys are now open to it.
maybe you, Marlon, and I, and the other fellas here, we can get together and do this sometime. Gigi's trying to
I
make that
want to catch
happen.
my lump on one of those because I know we can drink, we can play music, we can laugh, we can gaff. In between, we might say, fellas, excuse me, I got to take this call because your mother going to check in on you.
Right. So you want to make sure you're there where you're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, she listen over here. Wait, is all my voice I hear in the background there? Is this just so much? No, I'm to use a man. I got fine voices.
Oh yeah, I think we ought to do that. But I'm so grateful for you, man. Come on in and share
I
your
can
wisdom with us.
you get me full length here tonight,
I'm
man.
telling you, man. I'm letting you go now, man. But before we go, man, we gotta take one together, man. I'm telling you, we gotta take one together because I didn't get a chance to meet you yet. I know I might have met you down at the VIP lounge back in the day. But we got to get together at some point, man.
Well,
That's us
I
as
tell you one
DJs.
thing. You're fortunate to ignite a union that will not will not will not be, for choice of better words, it will survive all time. You ignited a union between yourself and I that it's gonna go a long way. A very long way. I'm telling you this now just to say that you are with me, man. You good with me. If I'm good with you, you good with me, bro.
Thank you, man.
And
I
if it's
follow you.
mutual, it's
Mm,
eternal, man.
awesome, awesome. 106, 105, New York, 30.3 seconds, fourth quarter, man. Are we losing the game in New York? Is New York losing the game? Is that what it is? 106, 105. Is who went to this game that give us this bad
Hazelnut,
luck,
so
man?
you giving me
What's
the score. Is New York Knicks up by 1 point?
I
If
think
the
I
Knicks
took
lose tonight, the Knicks lose the championship.
Oh man,
Yeah.
who is at the games tonight with them, man? I understand. President ought to be there
Give me
tonight. Is he there?
give me a quick second there.
All right,
One quick sec.
talking to DJ Stanley, man. I kept him up a long time, but I'm so grateful that you guys are giving me on the spot feedback, man. Hazel, thank you so much. You need to be a broadcaster, Hazel. You need to bring the news for us. I got to talk to you, Hazel. You can definitely be a broadcaster, bringing the news on our station, WFFR, sunshineradio.com. Yeah, think about it, okay? Bring some nice Caribbean news. Be a broadcaster. Think about it. I can give you the resources you need so we can do that. I like that. You're reporting the Spurs are winning. The Knicks, I don't know what's going to happen in the city of New York. What's going to happen with you all in New York tonight if the Knicks don't win? And hey, so what's going to happen in New York? I'm telling you, man. I understand a president was supposed to be there. I hope that's not the case, and because of that, people would put a blame on that. I know. Who we? Oh man, Knicks is losing. Well, 30.3 seconds, fourth quarter. That don't look too possible. Well, let's see. Let's wait and see. Hazel, please bring it up to date. Bring us up to date with what's happening next as I get towards the end of this conversation with DJ Styling. Um, Styling, I was
Somebody
about
better
to
tell
say,
me that the Knicks win this game.
man,
Because if
it
they
looks like
don't,
it
they in
looks like a
bad
bad,
trouble.
bad, bad thing happening
Bad
tonight. But
trouble.
I will,
If they
yeah.
if they lose 2 games at home, nah, that's mm-mm. If a Shadow playing on that team, Shadow sing a song. Shadow say a man come in me house to fight me.
Mhm.
Somebody call the ambulance to avoid a funeral. You come in me house for beat me. You must be crazy or real sick.
Yeah. Styler, let people follow you, man. You're still talented, gifted, man, and you still able to appeal to the people. Where can folks find you as you continue to bring good music to the world?
Here's the thing. That's a good question, right? Um, I'm about to launch a massive campaign. For now, I am on Twitch at DJ Styling _13. You'll find me on Twitch, or you can find me on TikTok at TAPS 905. But I'll leave it there for now. But I'm about to launch a massive campaign. It's all in the making. Is I I want to say the embryonic stage right now, the embryonic phase. But it's it's not a 9 month gestation period. So folks, just listen out. Embryonic stage now. It's not a 9 months gestation period, so it'll definitely be amongst us shortly. But
Mm.
for now, on Twitch, is styling _13. TikTok is TAPS 905. Um,
Yeah.
anyone out
Thank you.
there in the chat who has my
Well, thanks to
information?
Janet Bach. She just put it up in there. I have it on the screen right now.
Oh,
Janet
okay.
Bacham over there in the ATL. She follows you on Twitch every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. At styling underscore 13 or TikTok taps 905. I don't know. Is that correct? And she
That's
said,
correct.
come and join the fun. You see, you got fans following you. And I'm so glad that they're following you and then they're following me and we follow each other. That's what we do.
and
Because we
and that's
all,
why and that's why I said, shortly before, that the union that's forged here between you and I will, it will just last, because
thank you, man.
I truly respect. I have more respect now that I'm really. I had a first-hand view at what is it that you're doing. Oh
Mm.
Jesus, Lord of mercy! This is pressure 107, 1.26.
6107.
Oh Jesus, Lord!
Ah,
Somebody better tell me it's no overtime. We ain't playing that. Tell me that 1 point is suffice. I mean, I
mm.
will take that, but mm-mm.
Thanks, Hazel.
It's a
Man, we got
decisive.
commentators over here. Wow. Wow.
Okay, we
So,
did it. We did it. We did it. Oh Jesus! Look where they bring this game down to 1 point. I don't believe this.
wow.
Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this now, honestly, DJ Quinn. I enjoy doing this part tonight than watching the
Mm.
next game. Mm-mm. Nah, mm-mm, no.
Awesome.
I,
Awesome.
I, I,
Awesome.
I definitely wouldn't have been watching it all the way out to the end, like
Mm.
and enjoyed like I'm enjoying this segment here, storytelling.
I,
Seriously,
I
I'm
want to
glad you
enjoy
had
you
me.
some more, man. I'm glad you came on, but I've asked you many, many questions, and some I overlooked because of time. But there's some things in you about your life that I might have overlooked, and I want to give you that opportunity to tell the world more about DJ Styling Claremont.
All right. Not being too elaborative. In a nutshell, I would like the listeners today, tonight, who has been listening quite some time, just understand that I am I'm a man just like anyone else, you know, and our imperfections is the qualities that make us human. I'm not perfect, but I live by certain principles. I will respond in like manner at times if necessary. I reciprocate anything and most things that are handed to me. With the understanding of that is that there are some things about me that might be reported through different sources. Just for yourself. Don't see me through others' eyes. And I'm just saying this in retrospect to generalize the question that DJ Quinn asked because I know, I've been subject to all kind of ridicule. I've even been ostracized because of association. And it's okay. You know, it don't move me because as an individual, I know I'm a force to be reckoned with. Not to say I'm aggressive or, I'm intentive or anything of that nature, but I am myself. I'm just I. And most importantly, I wasn't raised in a household by myself. So I know about misunderstandings. I know about love. I know about arguments. I know about difference of opinion. And these are all the qualities molded into me to make me who I am. And if you who are listening just happen to be retrospective, you will stop for a moment and recognize he's no different to me because a lot of those things that you're saying, I I can attest. I am similar in some ways. And we don't vary much, you know. We don't vary much. If we are true to ourselves, we are so similar. But such is life. Difference of opinion is normal. Being misguided is unfortunate. I choose to say unfortunate, though some of us will continue to be a part of misguidance. Some of us will continue to be, you know, indoctrinated, influenced. Think for yourself, folks. Please think for yourself. I like the end of it 106, 107. Gigi, it's been some time I haven't heard you, but I want to say good night to you. I'm so glad that you stopped in. You know, I'm really ecstatic about your presence. Really, really am. And to all you wonderful folks, I want to especially thank all of you. You know, took time off and hey, for whatever it's worth, you know, join DJ Quinn and myself. I am truly appreciative, and I know it's gonna be a lot of a lot of information spreading around as a result of tonight. And please do it in the right way, you know, because
Hmm.
you know it was all good. It was storytelling. There was no bashing, you know. Any names that I've mentioned are individuals from my past, and some of them might be current, but not in a derogative manner.
Well, I like that. I like that. Mary Helen Biscuit, you're late. Good night to you, but welcome. I know you just probably get out of the game. You got a chance to go back and look at it on my page or YouTube, CRL365. DJ Styling, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your journey, and your heart with us tonight, man. Tonight we've learned that you are much more than a DJ. You are a father, a son, a mentor, a broadcaster, a community builder, and a cultural ambassador. Your story reminds us that success is not measured only by the records we play, but by the lives we touch. And so I thank you for joining us on Forefront today, CRL 365. This is the Matured Mixer, DJ Quinn. And I am definitely glad that you all listeners have come on in and contribute to it. I didn't see you ask questions, but I know I might have asked all the questions you wanted to ask, Styling. Um, if there's
That's a
anything
whole nother
else,
show. If
yeah,
you
that's
open
another
the
show.
floor, that's a whole nother show. Because I'm
I'm
quite
telling.
sure someone have some specific questions they want to ask. I know these little intricate questions that that you that you dare not, but
Right, right, right. Gigi is saying thank you so much. Love to know I have that special love for you. She still got a special love for you. I have to promote you, she says. So you got people promoting you, Styling.
yeah,
And
thank you,
Hazel,
Gigi. Thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
Hazel Lester is
Yeah,
saying good job, great job, DJ Quinn and DJ Styling. Thoroughly enjoyed the show. I appreciate that. You
yeah,
know, I do this not for likes and loves, and you guys will see it. I understand people can steal the algorithm. I know I have like 1,700 followers, and sometimes I don't see them all here, but I understand that they can steal your algorithms and all these things now. But I don't care. I'm
yeah.
going to impact at least 5 people, and
You
that's
know,
all that matters. And
after we spoke earlier, you know, I've made a decision. You know, thank you, Sugar Boom Boom. You know, thank you. You know, but we'll talk. I mean, DJ Queen, you and I must say again, you know, and I will say it adamantly. You know, I wasn't coerced here. You know, we consummated a great relationship right now. You know, I can see that moving forward. That you know, it's an inception of what the two of us together, you know, can actually accomplish. And I was so glad that you invited me here. You know, and you know, I just said what I knew. You know,
mm,
I didn't have a script or anything. You know, and that's how I wanted to really do tonight. I didn't want to do it from a script because
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask for the what question you're going to ask me. I'm glad you didn't even do that. Some
yeah,
folks do that, and when you do that, I give it to you. I'll tell you what questions I plan to ask, but I never ask all the questions I have written down
and that's
because it depends on the
understandable
conversation.
because some answers will take a little longer, and
Of
and then
course,
and then some answers might connect to the next question,
right?
and not the one that's designed after that one, but the one that's more appropriate, the one
Exactly.
that blends right into that one. I understand. You know,
You see, I like you already because you can relate to broadcasting and podcasting. You understand how this thing works, man. And so I encourage you. I wish you well on your platforms. I hope that you don't sit. I know you're not sitting on your gifts and your talents, but I hope you know that I'm here to support you, whatever you do. I support Gigi. I support Leslie Bob Semple. I support Winston T. Jacobs. Everyone I can support, I do that. I spread myself out. That's why. Folks can always know they can rely on me. So you have a friend in me too, man. So don't be afraid to come back on this platform if you feel you want to announce something or you want to talk some more about you. This is a safe space, and this is where storytelling meets the community, man. This is where we inspire people, we share information, and we definitely connect you to music talk and information right here on CRL 365. And so I hope you like the video. I will take my leave of you now and thank all the folks who came in and leaving comments here for us and participated during the game and after the game. I see a lot of loves coming up. Let me see if I'm getting a lot of love. Symbol is you getting it or me, man? I think it's Styling getting it, man. I think let me see who loves Styling. Let me see some loves in the chat, man. If you love DJ Styling voice, you love what he do. Let me see some hearts in the chat box, man. Let me see it for my brother, not for me, man. I'm good. Let me see it for my brother, man, because he spent 3.5 hours here with P almost.
yeah, pretty
And
much.
this is
Yeah,
remarkable.
yeah.
This is the
We
longest I've
sure
ever
did
had.
it.
I'm telling you.
We sure
So
did
let
it.
me see some love, man.
It was very educating. I like it. It's very motivating. I like it. And
Yeah.
also I would say it has been utmostly inspirational.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome. Well, look, I still remember your mama, man, and I'm glad she raised you well. And I still hope
Yeah.
that you keep her in her heart. I hope you name something after her. A lot
Yeah.
of folks, we bury them and we go to the grave, but let's name something. Let's name a school, a street, or
Yeah.
something with them. Think
Like
about
the
that.
sound of that.
You know.
Like the
So
sound of
let's
that.
keep our legacy alive.
Yeah.
I see some hearts coming from Sugar Boom Boom Audrey and
Yeah.
Gigi George. Hazel Nesty
Yeah.
sending some love to you. The
Yeah.
few that we have here, love to you, brother. And you guys can continue to do that on the page. I will take my leave of you now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video I made, especially for you, DJ Styling. Respect and manners to you, and
I
God
thank
bless your
you. I
giftings
thank
and
you,
your
my
talents,
brother.
man. Stay
I thank
encouraged
you.
always.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone. Thanks for
Much love
all
to
the
you, man. Where
listeners.
your glass, man? Let's drink to this, man.
Yeah.
A good show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time, man. I still got my Capadula Kakshan Granny Backbone and some wine right here. And toast to you, man.
Thanks, DJ Quinn. Have
All
a
right,
good
rest
one.
easy and enjoy your video, man. And
You too.
respect to you and the family.
Thanks.
From Brooklyn nights to the airwaves bright, you carry the music and kept it right. Digging in the crates for a timeless sound, bringing lost treasures back around. A voice so smooth, a style so clean, one of the finest we've ever seen. Not chasing fame, just serving the crowd, making the old school lovers proud. Through every season, through every song, you've been teaching us all along. It's not about hype, it's not about show, it's about touching hearts wherever you go. You're a legend behind the turntables, a bridge between generations, playing memories, building connections, spreading joy across the nations. DJ Styling, keep shining your light, keeping the oldies alive every night. From Twitch to radio, near and far, you remind us who we are. the fame. Certificates earned, wisdom acquired, helping young broadcasters become inspired, showing the difference between playing a tune and speaking life into a room. Through every challenge, through every year, you stayed authentic, you stayed sincere. The music changed, but your purpose stayed, a lasting impact you've always made. You're a legend behind the turntables, a bridge between generations, playing memories, building connections, spreading joy across the nations. DJ styling, keep shining your light, keeping the oldies alive every night. From Twitch to radio, near and far, you remind us who we are. To every young DJ coming through, there's a lesson they can learn from you. Respect the craft, respect the people, and let your character equal your talent. You're a legend behind the turntables, a voice that people recognize, a friend, a father, a cultural keeper, a star that never fades from the skies. DJ styling, this song is for you, from DJ Quinn and the listening crew. May your journey continue strong, and may your life remain a beautiful song. To my brother DJ Styling, thank you for preserving the music, honoring the culture, serving the people, and proving that true greatness is not just heard, it's lived.